Thanks for joining us today on the Bastard Sermon. This is one of your three hosts, Cody Hucker,
Luke Young,
Patrick Seta.
and today we have on Patrick's girlfriend, who actually has a really dope mic. His girlfriend's name is Rachel. She was on the last podcast. Rachel, say what's up.
Hey.
And we have our friend Tim Soell on. Tim, say what's up.
How you doing, y'all?
Righteous. Let's get right into it, you guys.
So I have a question. Of everyone in this room, guy-wise, who would you be most comfortable being naked around?
what do you mean?
And who are you directing this question at specifically,
Tim.
Pat?
I want Tim
Just
to
Tim?
answer. I want Tim to tell me, of all three of us, the dudes, who would he be most comfortable being naked around?
You don't even give him the girl option?
I would
Come on, bro.
have to say Luke because I'd probably lay my balls on his face.
Would you ever lay
Right.
your balls in his face?
Depends on the circumstance.
Next important question, Tim. How
Can I
heavy
phone
are
a
your
friend?
balls? Are your balls like boulders? Is it going to do damage to Luke's face if you were to lay them onto him? Like,
Well,
really plop
I'm
them
just
on there?
saying, if there were a tornado, I would be firmly on the ground.
Okay, I like it, sir. It's like little chain balls. I gotcha.
Have you ever? How do you shave your balls, bro?
See, this was a question on one of your previous podcasts that I thought was interesting.
It's a recurring
I
segment.
thought it was.
We like to
I
think
thought it
of
was
it as
interesting too. I never thought of it being described that way.
See, this is one of those questions where it's like I don't kiss and tell. So,
You don't shave your balls until?
He doesn't shave.
well, it depends on the event that I'm going to be going to.
right on.
If I'm going to be wearing light pants, maybe.
If you're going to get naked in front of Patrick, how would you do it?
I'd probably take all my clothes off and jump out the window.
You know, if I have a heavy workload day, I kind of want some hair down there to like reduce the chafing because I've got big fat man thighs like that rub together, and I've got real bad chafing issues around the old Gucci butthole sometimes, and like a little bit of padding seriously sometimes helps. So if it's all smooth and shit, it's just grinding against these fucking dickies, and it's horrible. So
Hey, you know how
for
it
a
is
little
in
bit extra hair on a
Cincinnati,
heavy
man.
workload day.
You can never tell the weather in Cincinnati, so if you want to like stay warm during the cold
Right.
season, wear some hair down
You got
there.
that thick beard on your face and on your balls. I like it.
Snowplow.
That's a goddamn
Tremendous.
fact. Driving here, when I first got in my car, clear skies. Driving here turns to rain. Coming onto this street, it starts to snow.
Oh, it'll probably be a hurricane before the end of the night.
Welcome to Cincinnati.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, there's been
You
a lot
lived a
of
good life.
storm names lately that I've never heard of until this past year, like bomb cyclone, and there's been like 3 of them.
Excuse me?
Do you know what a bomb cyclone is?
Not at all.
Is it a
It's-
cyclone that hurls bombs?
It's like right below a hurricane, I believe. And it's-
Rapula?
Rapula?
Right
What?
below
It's
a
raping?
hurricane, Luke.
These are all really good punk band names.
Rapula?
Can you
Oh my
write these
god,
down?
it does. That sounds fantastic. Or like a really scary Dracula X film.
Yes. Yes, or the next Resident Evil.
Would you ever be roommates with Dracula?
Why not?
Does he try to suck your blood?
I mean, he's a vampire. I mean,
You can
I mean,
never.
Like,
To
what
be-
are
I
the
feel like if you're
stipulations?
going to survive as a roommate with Dracula, you're going to have to give up some blood. On a mutual term. Don't fight it.
You can never eat food with garlic, though.
That's a fact. Goddamn.
And if he was sneaking up on you in the bathroom, you never see him in the mirror. Like he would just be all creeped
Well, I
at us,
feel
and then
like
he'd turn
if
around and
it's-
be like, ah!
If it's going to be mutual understanding, you got to lay down some ground rules.
Yeah, is he going to have to be in the bathroom with you? Like, are you guys going to be like
I mean, he could-
amicable roommates, or is he going to be actively trying to kill
Dude,
you?
he could turn into a bat. He sucks human blood, and he's a creepazoid that's been alive for hundreds of years and
You
dates
could-
like 18-year-old women. I assume he's a fucking weirdo, and he's probably gonna fuck up my roommate experience the entire time.
I don't
If
know.
you were-
You could like siphon blood out into a blood bag and just give him like high C punch bags like that.
No, that's giving him too much. If you agree to live with Dracula, you got to know ahead of time that he's probably a creepy bastard.
Facts.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Facts.
saying. You can't
what kind of
just
weird
hook him up
things do you
to-
think he does, like that no one really knows about, that only a roommate would really know? Like, do you think he like air dries his underwear?
Do you think they form a pact?
Does he
like,
wear
that
underwear?
They're not going to kill him?
Does he
That's a
have
good
underwear?
question. Does Dracula wear
It's
underwear?
just a cloak, isn't it?
Does
I'm
he
gonna Google
need
it.
to? I feel like his clothes are actually a part of him, which is why he's able to shapeshift into a bat.
No, he's probably
On
got
the
he's
fly.
probably got like a Squidward body up underneath him.
Oh, that's
Does Dracula
scary to
even
think
have
about.
genitals? I mean, is Dracula...
I mean, for sure, right?
They'd
Isn't
probably
the
be
whole thing
sharp.
behind Dracula?
He has to have a dick.
Isn't he always like having sex with random people that are like he's hundreds of years old and he's having sex with like these 25,
yeah,
30-year-olds, and you're like, whoa, dude, that isn't
Dracula's
that,
laying
when you're
pipe.
hundreds of years old and you're laying pipe on some 30-year-old woman, isn't that like not even a woman anymore? That's like a baby. That's a little baby when you're 400 years old.
If Dracula was on Match.com, like who would be his ideal type? Like what age range would you?
Pale,
Oh my God!
I was
there
gonna say-
are
No, no,
a
forget
faction
Match.
of goth women out
Forget
there.
Match.
librarian.
What
type.
would Dracula's Tinder profile be?
His type would be a B positive.
What would his Tinder profile
That's a
be?
good question. I'm a dark, thoughted individual.
I'm a Sith Lord.
Looking for girls who are into stay in for the night.
Yes.
I'm very introverted.
Yes.
Very introverted.
I'm into
Net-
ladies of the
like to
night.
Netflix and chill.
I'm more of a
Netflix
night-
and
night
kill.
owl.
I got him.
You'd be like, am I right, guys? Yeah. Jesus. I couldn't find anything about him wearing underwear. I don't know if he wears underwear. He
I'm
might
sure
go
he
commando.
did. I'm
What if
sure
he wears
went
women's
commando
underwear?
sometime.
Something tells me
What's
we're
wrong
the
with
only
wearing
ones to go
women's
this far in
underwear?
depth with that.
Nothing. There's
No.
nothing.
We could go
Dracula
farther.
can
We could
wear-
go
We could
way
always
I
farther.
bet
go
Dracula would
farther.
look good in women's
Infinitely
underwear.
farther.
Always go farther.
I think Dracula would probably wear women's underwear. Maybe a corset.
I
He
think,
probably
wears
a
wears a
thong. I
corset.
think he'd wear
I'm
a
sure he's
thong.
experimented
thong,
within
yeah.
the centuries of his life.
Like after a whole night of him going out sucking people's blood, he gets home. He starts dressing up as like Buffalo Bill and fucking.
Would you suck me? I'd suck me.
Yeah,
I bet
exactly.
feet stuff is his foreplay.
Oh man.
He's probably into foot stuff.
Where does he bite on the foot? Like in between the webbing?
No, he warms up to the biting with the foot,
Oh god.
and then he goes to the neck for the final bite.
Goddamn.
Do you think Dracula gets in like? I mean, do you think he goes swimming at all? Like, do you think he has like his own personal pool?
I mean,
I don't-
God
I know
damn,
it's a
I've
stupid
never.
Are
question.
we
even
being a
sort of pondered
necroist?
this.
Is this ignorant towards the dead?
How pale would he be though, getting inside of that water? I know it'd have to be at nighttime, but just imagine Dracula taking his shirt off and the moon just like creating a new fucking like fog light like
yeah, isn't
out of
the
his
sun
body.
bad for him?
Yeah, horrible. So he's got no pigment in his
Well, it's an
skin
indoor
for sure.
pool.
He's pastier than I
Hot
am,
tub.
like 1,000 times. Me and Luke
He
put
probably gets
together,
in a hot
not even
tub.
touches.
I could see Dracula in a hot tub.
Do you think he orders pizza? Like, do you think he eat like his diet is strictly just blood, or does he eat
No
normal
fucking
food?
garlic butter, bro. What do you mean? How could you be
Well,
in
no,
the
no,
pizza
he-
without garlic butter?
Yeah.
What
He's
do you
one of
mean?
those-
Come on,
you
bro.
would risk.
One of the
You would be
key
taking too
elements
much
to
risk.
pizza.
God,
Garlic,
good
bro.
point, guys. Good point. Really
Yeah.
good
No,
point.
he definitely doesn't order pizza.
Unless he makes it himself.
What about Chinese? Does Chinese food have garlic in it?
He probably eats straight rice.
He probably just eats plain white
I
rice.
thought the thing
Yeah.
Oh,
was
the fucking
I
weirdo
think
with
he
the
only
white
drinks
rice
blood.
order.
Yeah. I don't think that
He
he
only
eats at
drinks
all. I
blood.
think that it's only blood, right? Isn't that how it was in Interview with the Vampire? That fucking Brad
I don't
Pitt
know.
and
I
Tom
view
Cruise
blood
movie?
as a delicacy for him.
No. He needs it for life, and everything else like turns to ash in his mouth. Wasn't that the lore
yeah.
behind Dracula?
I'm not
that
too
Yeah,
sure.
sucks.
I think he can only.
That's-
Fuck
sucks
being
bud,
Dracula.
Their body can't
I wonder if
process the
like,
food and the lore or whatever the fuck.
what if does blood rarity like come into account like a fine wine? Like, oh, this is AB negative.
I feel like I've seen that before. So like, this is a vintage, like a 1970, like whatever. They're swirling the bottle of blood and shit.
Here's the weird thing
Or
about
like you were
it.
talking about earlier, I like the idea of having a blood pouch in the fridge, and he's just lazy and doesn't want to go out, so he just grabs the blood pouch and sticks one of those Capri Sun straws through it, and sits on the couch and watches The Office.
You
and
know-
fucking drinks blood out of his blood pouch.
Here's the weird thing that we got to think about though, because if we're really going to delve this deep into Dracula's life, we got to know that he also takes dumps. All right.
Of
Does
course
he,
he
though?
does.
Oh my God.
What's
Does
his-
he though? Because
Yeah.
if he's only drinking blood, like
Ooh.
It's
Oh,
just
some
very
messy
he's gotta have
blood
diarrhea.
dumps.
He's got to have diarrhea of
I
some
think
he
that
has
they
probably runny
use, like
poop.
it's like they take that blood and like that's how like what they use for their own blood. Like I don't think they take
You don't
it
think he
and
poops?
digest it. I think it goes into like their bloodstream.
You
Hold
tell-
on.
you tell
I
me
think
my
we need to
dude-
start referring back to the Twilight films. I've never seen them. But was there ever a scene where Edward came out of the shitter?
I don't know.
I've
You
never
tell
No,
watched
me.
I don't
Twilight
think so.
films.
You're
Don't sit
telling
and
me.
stare at
Someone
me like
tell
I'm
me.
supposed to be able to answer your question right now about Twilight.
You might.
You better Wikipedia that shit, son.
He couldn't
fuck do you
inject it
think
into
you're
his
at?
bloodstream either, because then he'd be like over-blooded.
You're telling me
Yeah.
my dude Dracula don't pee or poop.
My
no,
bro.
I don't think so. He's not a person anymore. He's not alive. Why would he have bodily functions like that?
Do you think his castle even has a toilet or restroom?
Fucking move
Wait,
away
wait,
from
wait.
Dracula.
Did he update it before?
So you're telling me like Dracula doesn't get up at all in this hibernation at all, like to piss once in a while?
No.
I mean,
He's like 400 years
So
old.
hold on, if
1,000
he's-
years old.
hold on,
He's probably
hold
gotta
on.
pee all the time.
if he's having sex though, then doesn't his body still work? Because wasn't that a big thing about Dracula? He's always laying down with women.
But that's why he needs to drink the blood because it like allows
allows
the blood
him
to
to
flow to
shoot
his
nut?
dick.
Dracula can get a nut. Why can't he take a blood diarrhea?
What
Like,
if Dracula's gay?
Well, he may not be taking like a full nut.
What
you
if
know?
Dracula's
I don't
gay?
know.
I don't know. Like, that's
Why
really
would he be piping women for so long?
maybe
if
that
he was
woman
gay?
blood tastes way
Denial.
better.
Denial for
dude.
hundreds of years. He was just in
Dude's
the
got
closet.
denial.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why he was such a sadist. He couldn't
Listen.
be true to himself.
He would totally be into the white dude from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
Facts.
Old Man Jenkins.
Oh my god. No, Freddy, dude.
Yeah,
right?
Freddy. That's
yeah,
his name,
Freddy,
yeah.
for sure.
Why don't they ever change in Scooby-Doo? Like, why do they wear the same clothes like in every adventure? Is that
Because
is that the
they're
only
dirty
clothes
hippies, and they only have
Don't
the
mess
clothes
with
on their
perfection,
backs.
okay? You know?
Because I guarantee that they had more of them. That's not the only clothes they had. Like, if you open up their closet and it's the same clothes.
I guarantee.
You ever
it
seen
is.
cartoons or shows where they open up their closet and it's like a row of
Eddie
all
Bravo.
the same clothes, like fucking SpongeBob?
Johnny
Eddie
Bravo.
He said
Johnny-
Eddie Bravo though.
Johnny Bravo.
Can you imagine if it was Eddie
Oh,
Bravo
yeah.
though in that same
The
show?
lady killer.
He's in there yelling about Alex Jones conspiracy theories and tying people up in jujitsu moves and shit.
so good.
I'm sorry for everybody that doesn't know who Eddie Bravo is. He's a dude that's always on Rogan's podcast. The 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. He fucking runs that thing and started... whatever. It's not that important. I see Pat looking at me like, no one gives a fuck, Cody.
Yeah, I have
understand, Pat.
I have another one I wanted to bring up. Have you ever had food betray you?
I mean, we
Food
just...
poisoning?
We just talked on the last podcast how I had fucking, like, Chinese buffet shits for, like, a whole day and sulfur burps.
I guess this is more directed towards him because we were asking ourselves this earlier because we ate pizza and we burnt the roofs of our mouths, and it sucked. So Tim, have you ever had food betray you?
Every time I go to Wendy's.
Every time you
What,
have to
really?
why do you
You
keep
burn
going
your
back?
mouth?
The
or-
chicken sandwich is always the hookup to me.
I know, and I get the spicy version, and it just fucks me up.
What's the most regretting food experience you've ever had?
Oh, White
Regretful.
Castle.
Tell us the whole story
Ca-
from
See,
Oh,
morning
I
you
don't-
woke
Top
up
to bottom.
Yeah, top to bottom.
See, I don't necessarily have a story because my body is like clockwork. It's like a machine. It just works everything through no matter what. I
with
honestly
you.
have to give my body a lot of credit because I really do throw some curveballs at it. So I don't necessarily have too many stories other than a good old trip to the bathroom like we all are familiar with. But yeah, I'd say every time I go to White Castle, it's just a negative experience.
What makes it particularly horrible, though? Is it just, like, you just know that it's going to turn
Onions.
your stomach upside down for sure? Or it's going to be, like... You're gonna get completely somebody else's order. What's the White Castle?
Well, that's
experience typically?
a threat anywhere you go is to get somebody else's order, which happens every time I go to Arby's, by the way. But yeah, it's the worriment of how I'm gonna feel afterwards. I try to be a little conscious about what I'm eating, but White Castle is just a guaranteed shitstorm.
I feel like if
Literally.
you're going to White Castles, though, you're also hammered drunk. Like, for sure, you're blackout drunk, and then that's why you're at White Castles.
From the memories I
fucking
have
love
of
White Castle.
From the
Sober,
memories I have of
totally.
eating at White Castle, it was only while I was shit-faced wasted at 3 a.m.
Yeah, same, dude. I don't know who else. Well, okay, Rachel, make your case for sober White Castles and tell me how you survive.
I don't know.
I feel like the
just
alcohol
fucking
has to
love-
be there to combat that.
People get married at White Castles.
I like
That
it's good.
sounds
I
so dirty.
I don't really like the burgers that much, but like I like the mozzarella sticks. Those are legit.
Okay,
Ooh,
we
the
did
chicken
have this.
rings. The
Yeah.
chicken
chicken
rings.
rings are good
Yes.
too.
Okay, you guys got me there. And that chocolate dip cheesecake that they've got. Oh, I'm a
Can't say
fat
I've
boy.
had it.
Never had it.
Oh man, I
I
spank my
stray
bitch
from
tits
the
and
White
eat that.
Castles.
I hate when I go in there. It just smells so bad of onions that I just feel like I'm an onion when I leave.
I love onions.
I love onions too.
You have layers.
Hey,
Would you-
I
would
got
you
a
wanna be
question
an
for you
onion?
guys.
Let's hear
I
it.
got a
No.
question for you guys. I don't mean to interrupt, but you guys had a segment on, I think it was your last podcast, and there was a question in there that I wanted to ask you guys.
Now, just so that the listeners are aware, the last podcast for you is different than what you'll hear as it comes out, because we're about 3
Yes.
weeks ahead over here. So anyways, you heard your question.
Yes. So my question is,
Yes.
do you guys believe that the moon landing was real?
Yes,
I mean,
You do?
yeah, probably.
You do believe
Most
that the
likely.
moon landing was real?
I do.
Yeah, it's kind
Do
of
you
hard
not
to
believe that that we landed on the moon? How about this? I believe that we landed on the moon, but I don't know. That's a really good question. I've been hearing a lot of news recently about, not saying I believe it fully, but that the footage that we had at that time just wouldn't have worked in space. So yes, we went to the moon, but the footage had to be redone to show that we actually did do it, to back up what we did.
Let me-
I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, I've read a lot about into that, and I'm like, that's weird.
Let me pose this question: how do you keep a secret between 3 people? Kill 2 of them. Because fucking 3 people can't keep a secret, or even 2 people can't. There's no way that they're holding that fucking conspiracy theory together with the amount of people that had to be involved from NASA and fucking Buzz Aldrin and I almost said Lance Armstrong. What's the other one's name? Armstrong something.
Lance.
Neil.
It's
Neil
Lance.
Armstrong. Thank you, Pat. The one bald astronaut.
The Lance.
Yeah, the one bald blood doping astronaut. But I think that it's highly unlikely that Stanley Kubrick filmed it and fucking. I mean, I've read all the same things. Like, I've seen the Alex Jones conspiracy videos about how we never make it past the Kuiper fucking radiation belt. But, like, what are you talking about, man? There's people that go to the ISS all the time. You can watch it live on YouTube.
Alex Jones is
It's-
an actual.
Alex
maniac.
Jones is on steroids, but he's still fat.
Right? It's crazy.
Is he
Super
really?
crazy.
I don't know, but that's like part of the
hope so.
Have you not
justification I
seen-
have for his behavior.
Have you not seen any
I think
of
it's
the
just a
videos
fucking
of him
legitimate
getting
crazy person.
insanely upset and then tearing his shirt off and running?
Yeah, did you see him get
how much
hot
of it is
coffee
real,
thrown in his
though?
face?
Like,
Yeah, it
or
was
how much of
amazing.
it's put on.
I mean, I think that's 100% him, because that's what Rogan says every time that he talks about him. He's like, no, that's him. He's fucking crazy as fuck. He's like, I love him, but he's an insane person, and that's why I love him partly.
He
But
Would you
wait,
go on a
we
date
never,
with him?
Hold on, we never asked Tim though. We'll get back to if I'll date Alex Jones. Is a very pertinent question, but Tim, you never told us. How do you feel about the moon landing?
So I do believe that we landed on the moon, but I don't believe that it happened on the first try. I believe that the footage at the time was all hype, and they used it to. I mean, we were at a time in the country where we were in the race with other countries,
Russia.
We were
Russia
trying to
and
beat everyone
shit.
there.
Yeah, and we wanted to come off as the most swaggish country ever. We made it to the moon. Fuck you guys.
Right.
Okay,
And-
but what have you seen though that like backs that up? Like, do you have anything that you could like point to just as a?
There's like deep conspiracy theories. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but there's deep conspiracy theory files that go into it. I mean, there's conspiracies all the way up to 9/11 to
Yeah,
a
of
bunch of
course.
other shit too. But like the ones that they had for the original moon landing don't add up. I mean, I could say that about the original moon landing, and I can say the things about Tupac's death didn't add up too. But
Right.
I mean, as far as that subject in particular goes, I think that we did not do it on the first try, and we used it to hype ourselves as a country at the time.
I know that I'm a goddamn dum-dum, and I've listened to people that are way smarter than me tell me that is for sure. Like, I've like people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and like other people that I forget. There was a videographer that I watched talk about it, and like a dude that knows physics also talk about it in the same video, and like all this other shit. And they were like, their consensus was that it seems to be legitimate. Like, that's what I heard them say. And I mean, what you were saying is right. There's conspiracy like theories and ideas, and but there's also conspiracy facts. Like there's all kinds of like different weird conspiracy facts, and I think that we should consider those questions. But I think the moon landing's probably real.
I have a
Just
question
from
for you.
What I've seen on it.
So since you're really into conspiracy theories, of all the conspiracy theories or things that you believe in the strongest, what conspiracy theory do you absolutely, undeniably believe in is absolutely correct? What do you think?
Building
That's-
7.
That's a good one.
Facts.
I'd probably have to say 9/11. I
Building
mean,
7.
the fact that George
Yep.
Bush was so conveniently reading books to children at the time that the World Trade Centers got hit, you know.
What do you
it's-
mean by that? Why is that a convenience of that? Don't presidents do stuff like that all the time?
I mean, in order to boost their political image, absolutely. You know, shake the hands, kiss the babies, read books to children. That's all great. I mean, can we
It's-
really trust any particular politician out there or anything like that? But for him to be so conveniently in a classroom at the time that happened is a little far-fetched for me.
I think
what if he was on the shitter?
he wasn't. They have it on film, Patrick.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yeah, there's hard evidence
This is a
behind
major
that.
thing that happened in our life, Patrick. I think someone would have addressed that by now.
I think I'm with you. I think 9/11. He definitely knew about it. I don't know if he set it up at all. I don't think he had any hand in setting it up. I think he knew about it, and there was really nothing he could do about it. I think there's the president, who is the face of the government, and then I think there's people that operate behind him. And I'm not necessarily saying that the Illuminati exists, maybe something like the Illuminati, but I think that it was going to happen one way or another to initiate a war over in the east to lay claims over the passage of Osiris. It's not the passage of Osiris, I think. It's something else. But it's a river that's like the world trade hub for oil. And that's what they wanted to get their fucking hands into. Afghanistan and many other countries over there were in a big arrest over religious overthrowing powers and fake governments.
We keep saying George Bush. I don't think that's the dude that they clued in on it. I think President fucking Dick Cheney, who really ran our government for 8 years, is the one that knew about it and
I'm sure
fucking made sure that shit was getting set up. And fucking, like you were just saying, they were looking to get into those countries and fucking have some reason and have the whole, the entire population of the United States behind them, backing them, or the majority of people supporting going into war because they just lost fucking... what was it, 3,000 Americans or something like that? And then it goes back to the experts things for me more so than all this oil shit. When I listen to these demolition experts talk about looking at Building 7 as if it was a controlled demolition, they're like, we've watched hundreds of building demolitions, and this is what happens when you make the building separate from the fucking trade center, and it's like, why would it have caused it to implode like that if something had fell? And I've heard them all talk about that shit, and these facts are more so the reason that I'm like, I don't know who knows what. If somebody knew something, Dick Cheney knew it for sure. Donald Rumsfeld probably knew something, and fucking I don't know about George Bush. He seemed like a chimpanzee in a fucking president suit
exactly.
that they put him out on the leash and they made him fucking say weird shit into the mic, and everybody laughed because he was an idiot.
Let's not dive too deep into the political side of things.
Do you think OJ did it?
Oh yeah.
There is no doubt, Patrick. Have you ever seen the interview?
Who writes a book that says "If I did it"?
Have you ever seen the interview where he's talking
idiot.
to this guy who's interviewing about the book, and OJ's talking about how he's getting worked up over how hypothetical it is. He's just, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's just, how it's so hypothetical. It's hard for me to talk about. It's like, what the fuck do you mean? You're misusing that word. You're just using that as a scapegoat.
Yeah, but if I did it,
You know what's fucked about that book? If you read the cover of it, it says I did it, and then if you look really, really close, the if is real tiny in blood. I'm not shitting you. If you
What
look
a
that book
fucking
up right
idiot.
now, it's not just if I did it, it's I did it.
Double
and
Jeopardy is such a son of a
The
bitch.
publishers
No,
did
it's
that.
actually, look it up right now, please. But it's inside the eye. If you look inside the eye, it says if and a bloody footprint or something fucked up. And it's like, are you fucking serious? I don't think he wrote that book. I think what happened was somebody else wrote it, and OJ was so desperate for money at this time that he just gave him the right to put his name on the front of it.
Yeah.
it just says
I'm pretty
I
sure-
did it, and then the
look-
if is in the I.
That was one of the publishers' ideas. It had to be.
It's right there. I'll tell
No
you.
Oh,
way.
it's microscopic compared to the rest of the
You
title.
can't even see it.
It's
so
if
fucking
you look at
funny.
a distance, you're just gonna say I did it. What the?
What?
Goddamn.
If I did. Oh yeah.
Whoever wrote that book for him's an asshole, but I love them. But he murdered 2 people, so how much of an asshole?
Yeah. Did
really
you guys
are they?
see the American Crime Story, FX?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
That's what they
great.
did on that.
Tremendous.
Fantastic.
It was
Except for how
amazing.
weird was it looking at Cuba Gooding Jr. and just being like,
He was the
I mean, he's a good
only
actor, but
one.
what the fuck is this? That's not
He
OJ.
was the only one that didn't look spot on to the rest of the people involved
Yeah.
in that scenario.
He did a
Ross
good job
looked
playing a.
really weird, but almost identical.
Close enough. And then
to Kardashian.
who
Rob
played
John
Shapiro? John Travolta.
Yeah, he looks like
What the hell happened to his cheeks?
Oh, he's fucked. That plastic surgery got him, boy.
Dude, he hit it hard before they started filming that because his cheeks, his mouth could barely move. But as far as every character in that show, they were all spot on
Yeah.
except for OJ.
I mean, I liked Cuba Gooding's acting, and I like him as an actor. I feel like I'm ripping off Your Mom's because I literally just listened to them. This happened organically, this conversation, though. But I just listened to Your Mom's House talk about this, and I was like, yeah, when I watched that, I had the same feelings. Cuba Gooding Jr. is this little fucking dude, and it's supposed to be OJ. He
Yeah.
did a good job playing an autistic football player that definitely killed 2 people.
No fucking way. Shots fired.
Every time that I see
good.
OJ, I just think,
That was good.
everybody loved him, and he was just like an autistic kid that was really good at running. I don't
Oh
know.
my god! But
Please don't
facts.
murder me, OJ. Please don't murder me and my girlfriend.
He'll
Yeah.
make
Do you
another
think it's
book.
weird when Cuba Gooding Jr. plays really tough guys and he's got such a high voice?
Like an American Gangster.
I mean, all the movies that he plays in, like, when he does that. You ever notice?
I'm
That's
sorry.
kind of a boring topic. Go on.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is a boring topic.
He's
Yeah.
a good actor, but I mean,
I don't think you can have
He
any
hosts
good
a game show
conversations.
now, don't he? Oh no,
I don't
that's
know.
Wayne Brady.
I love Wayne Brady.
That
Wayne
dude
Brady
will
is
always
great.
host some sort of game show.
Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch?
wasn't that a Chappelle Show bit?
It was.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
Doesn't he get like high with him on PCP or something? Like you get
Yep.
wet.
He made
He's
him.
supposed to be a super
wet,
nice
Dave.
guy, and he gives him PCP. You get wet, Dave. Like what? And he's like spinning around and shit.
I
So,
missed that show.
That show
That
was
show was
so
amazing.
fucking good.
Yeah, it was.
So
Paul
Tim,
Mooney as fucking oh god damn.
Negro
I know-
Damas.
Yeah,
Negro
Negro Damas.
Damas,
Yeah,
yeah.
now I
He's
remember.
White people like Wayne Brady. He looks like John Travolta. Or,
That shit launched Charlie Murphy's career before like anybody even knew Charlie Murphy was doing comedy. I don't think he was doing comedy. I think he like started doing comedy because everybody liked the fucking True Hollywood Stories with Charlie Murphy. So
Really, I
much.
thought he was doing comedy before that. Cause,
he
I mean,
followed his brother.
yeah,
around
if he
for
was
many
coming
He
years.
up
was like
with
his-
Eddie Murphy, why wouldn't he?
He was like his brother's
I'll look it up.
bodyguard. I don't know. Yeah, you should definitely look that up.
Check
But,
out. I forget the name of it. There's a really old Eddie Murphy special, like
Raw?
old back. No, wait, it's before Raw, and you can hear Charlie Murphy yell at a heckler in the background.
Hey man, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Like Jesus, that dude's it looked intimidating before his like he got all gaunt from his leukemia.
The
or
Charlie
whatever, but,
Murphy,
like,
Rick James story will always be a classic.
Legendary.
Yeah.
That and the
Adolescent.
fucking Prince story.
Yes.
My God.
Shirts versus skins.
Like those two stories, like beat all stories ever. You can't ever tell that story at like a public outing with friends and have someone one up it. It'll just never happen.
Nope.
Charlie Murphy, haha, and then he just slaps him across the face. Like what the fuck is about to
Charlie
happen?
Murphy.
Yeah.
apparently, he was in the Navy and he witnessed a mushroom cloud over Burett.
My
Charlie
word.
Murphy
Interesting.
was?
Charlie Murphy. That's what it
Fuck.
says. Yeah, he later learned that this was the aftermath of the bear.
Talking to Mike Pat.
Sorry, it's he witnessed a mushroom cloud over Beirut. I don't want to say that's I'm saying that
Beirut.
right. Yeah, it's
Yeah, you're right.
BEIRU.
It's all right. We got it.
After the aftermath of the barracks bombing, in which 307 people were killed, so he witnessed that.
Gnarly,
My
bro.
lord.
If anything, I respect him even
That's
more.
gnar power right
He was
there.
a boiler technician for 6 years. Interesting.
Huh.
He was also in jail for 10 months before that.
What did he go to jail for?
Being
It's
a
just like
fucking-
something horror, like rape murder. Like what the fuck, Charlie Murphy? No
Nah.
longer a fan, sir.
No way.
No.
No, Charlie Murphy's a classic dude.
Joking.
For
It
sure.
doesn't say at all. Yeah,
Patrick.
but he was a karate practitioner.
Patrick.
Goddamn.
Honestly.
How much money would you
If-
pay for a videotape of Charlie Murphy doing karate? That
How-
would be the
how
best
much
fucking
money
thing.
would you pay for Charlie Murphy to have sex with you?
I wouldn't have. I would pay anything. I love Charlie Murphy.
So
Take me.
Well, he
Take
me,
is
man, me.
dead. Let's remember this. So
Facts.
Make
is dead.
sweet love to me, dead Charlie Murphy.
yeah.
My God.
died of
doesn't matter.
leukemia.
Too far. Too
Yeah.
soon. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'll say sorry so that it gets less uncomfortable.
Is that too much? I really like Charlie Murphy.
I love
It's
Charlie
just-
Murphy,
breast
but I'm not
Alright,
going to pull
so-
any punches for
Tim, let's
R.I.P. Charlie
fucking
Murphy.
let's finally turn this episode towards you and why you're on, man.
okay, what do you got?
So you I'm not wrong. You've been paid before for photography and video work, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, talk into that. I mean, you're younger than me, correct?
I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 24, 93 December.
Okay, you are older than me then.
Yeah, and
Wow, I'm
you
old as fuck.
as long as I've known you, like
You don't
straight
have
out of
any
high
to
school,
talk.
you've been fucking making power moves, essentially.
I would just say that I like to stay busy. You know, I like to stay busy, but still embrace the creative side more than anything. You know, while you and I were both working at the brewery together, that was like kind of like a extracurricular activity, if you may say.
Yeah.
And once they closed the Lachlan location down, and I was out of a bartending gig,
What brewery did you work for? I'm sorry to interrupt.
I don't want to get into
Okay,
no
fair enough,
like
fair
trade. Well, I just don't want to like embark on no trademark, because the owner that we worked for was kind of like strict about, you know, if our name's gonna get mentioned, I want some money out of it. So
yeah.
you know, I didn't feel that vibe at all. But basically, when they closed their doors, I had free time, and I hadn't had free time for a while, and I decided to embark on another little adventure that I was always interested in, so I picked up barbering.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I've been doing a little hair cutting here and there, not licensed, but I'm hoping to eventually open a barber shop here in Cincinnati at some point in time. Right now working on getting a house first, so I gotta, deal with
One
all
step
that
at
first.
a time, man.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
I've seen some of your cuts on Snapchat. They look pretty fucking good, man.
Thank you. I got a long way to go, though.
You got any like Instagram or Snapchat that you want to plug or something?
Well, if you guys are interested in my photography, I am at Euphoric. That's EUPHOR_IK. Feel free to check it out. I've kind of actually been stepping away from social media lately. I've learned to kind of face away from my phone and kind of embrace the things of life that we kind of take for granted more often now these days.
I think that's a really good idea. I've heard a lot of people on podcasts in particular talk about that, like Ari Shaffir's giving up the smartphone to get on that fucking flip phone, all kinds of successful dudes. And
screen time is not necessarily good for you. It's not healthy for you. And I've kind of just been trying to get in touch with, like, I don't want to say, like, who I used to be because I've grown a lot more as a person, but, like, how I used to do things before smartphones were here. You know? How we used to have fun before phones and technology and all this other shit that distracts us on a daily basis was,
It's hard to remember those days if you really think about it. Like, whoa, those were a real thing.
Use your house phone to find out where someone was. Make plans.
Yeah,
to
the
connect
house
somewhere.
phone. I fucking hated having to answer my friends' phone calls because my parents would always get to the phone first and make fuck.
Yeah.
Especially when girls called.
Timothy.
oh Christ!
No, because it's real embarrassing having your
when
grandma
dial-up
answer
goes
like,
on.
"Hello, who's there?"
Yeah, dude, I saw a lot of people get really have problems with that, fucking not knowing how to set the phone down, or you just be having conversations with people that are just like, yeah, and you look over at them and you're like, dude, you're just buried nose
Dude,
deep in your fucking phone.
Whenever you
look
go
at me,
out,
talk to me, let's fucking
whenever
hang out.
you go out anywhere anymore and you just look around, everybody's in their phones. All the time.
Cell phones are very new to us, though. Like,
They're
as
new
a species.
as a species.
Yeah, like this is entirely this is
Within
very
20 years,
new.
20 to 30 years.
It's
all
hard to
this
put
shit.
into words. Like,
I'd say
We're the last
it's-
generation that got to experience not what the world's like without it.
I think
pretty
humans
crazy.
have this weird innate need to consume information, and this is a very vast way to do it, but it's also kind of like a dietary plan. It depends on what you're consuming. Like,
As
you
far
could
as-
be on your phone just eating bullshit off of
Yeah.
Facebook.
Anything
watching
in excess also can be a
gobbledygook.
bad
Yeah,
thing.
but you could also be taking breaks to read a fucking article on I fucking love
It's a great
science.
it
analogy
can
for
be used for intellectual
Yeah.
information, but it's not. We
Yeah.
grew up, specifically our age group grew up, and we kind of developed with technology.
Yeah.
We're way more advanced with technology, versus our parents who have no idea, or at least, a few years ago had no idea how to even send an email, let alone. But we grew up with technology a lot more. But think about, the people who are younger than us.
Dude, I was
they
just about
have,
to say,
I
they
got
have
little
technology shoved down their throats now. And they have no idea how to function without a phone or a tablet or even the schools. Every way they learn is through technology now.
This is why, Toys R Us has gone out of business because of specific reasons just like this. People are being born into the iPads and being born into this. I'm 27 right now. The oldies nowadays that are played on the radio, 80s music.
Yeah.
Not like the 60s when we were a kid.
Yeah, Metallica is classic rock now.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing. The 2000s music that we're listening to, that we used to grew up listening to, that's going to be considered classic music someday.
Well, I mean, it's nearly 20 years now.
I think that's a natural progression of things. But what he was just touching on,
mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing.
we all have. I don't know if you have younger siblings, but I've got 4 younger siblings. 2 of them that are part of the generation you're talking about, born in the 2000s, and from the day that they were fucking here until now, and I noticed it today because I was just over at my mom's house and hanging out with them, and they're just always on that fucking phone. And if they're not on the phone, they're on the fucking DS or Like, and I know, I get it. Like, I played my Game Boy Color too, but I set that fucking thing down and went and rode a bike all the time.
Yeah,
and
we
they never
got
leave the
together
house.
with our friends. Like, nowadays, what I really hate seeing is, like, when parents don't feel like dealing with their kids, so they simply hand them the tablet or
Right.
something to distract them, and then that's like the mute button for their kids.
Yeah.
That's fucking lazy.
And
to
it's
me.
also their fucking babysitter, and it raises
Yeah.
them instead of
Yeah.
them
And
having
that
to actually
much-
be a parent and have interactions that are
Yeah.
positive, that build fucking character and make
Yep.
it easier for people to talk to other people.
They have social anxiety now because
Everyone
they're so
does.
used to talking to somebody over a messenger app versus actually walking up to them in person and talking to them.
Right.
And that goes back to the screen time. That much screen time is bad, like especially in your developmental age.
There's actually a school in Japan, I want to say. It may be China. I'm pretty sure it's Japan, where the school is kindergarten to second, I believe, and it's entirely outside.
That's awesome.
They have
Why don't we
indoor
have that?
centers when it's raining, but the school is entirely outside and it's in a circular shape.
That's fantastic.
The kids are constantly active.
Yeah. Why don't we teach kids how to grow food or like do taxes or like do something
really good question.
important versus some mindless like activity that
feels-
we're never going to use again?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I feel that that also, I believe, has a part in people not getting out of, their parents' houses so early. You
Mhm.
know, you're staying in there far too long. Like, I know a lot of people that are very, very dependent at such a scary old age.
Yeah.
We're moving farther and farther away from written communication because we're no longer teaching cursive in school anymore. And soon we're not going to be teaching any kind of written language whatsoever at all. We're going
Yeah.
to be using emojis. That's what's going to end up happening.
Dude, we're
It
not
sounds so
going
damn
back to
stupid.
hieroglyphs.
We're
Yeah,
going
we're
to devolve
going
to
back to
hieroglyphs.
Emoji
Yeah.
No,
language.
I will definitely teach my kid cursive. I write exclusively in cursive.
How
I
are you
really?
going to do
Yeah,
signatures?
when I write my name on any application or piece of paper, it says write name. I write my name in cursive, and then it'll say signature. I'm like, well, fuck. I just
Cursive?
did.
Oh, well, a
You know?
signature is different. A signature is like a kind of freehand style real
I
quick.
always just put my name in cursive.
Some people do that. That's
First
like
and
the
last.
old-fashioned way of doing things
Catholic
almost.
school did that to me.
Yes.
Do you do
yes.
it with a feather pen?
I don't think it's good though. I think cursive is fucking stupid. I
quill.
hated
A
learning
quill.
it.
What?
It served no practical
It's
purpose
so,
in my life.
it's so much easier,
it's,
though.
It's a waste of fucking
It's
time.
easy because you never
School's
have to
hard
lift
enough
your
on
pen
kids.
off the paper.
Exactly.
That's the only
Yeah.
like purpose it serves.
Yeah.
We do
I
everything
literally write in all caps.
Really?
I hand write everything in all caps.
Someone
And
must think you're screaming at
I
them.
feel like that
all the
takes
time.
so
Everyone's
much
like,
Not
why is
text.
this dude yelling at
Not
us?
It's a
not
very
text.
aggressive post-it note, Nick.
Not text. I
Tim,
just
sorry.
take notes like at my work or whatever in all caps, and it comes out clean. I do a little graffiti on the side too, so it's like I
Oh, yeah?
am used to just doing all caps and stuff like that.
When you're at
Okay.
work, do you ever graffiti something on accident on an important form?
No, because
shit, my
no,
bad.
because that term "important form" is literally an important form. Like it could end up in court.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What do
So-
you do now? Can you give us a breakdown of what you do now?
What I do now? Yeah. So essentially, right now, I work for my godfather's company, and I rent and sell construction equipment. And with the huge developmental process or phase, whatever you want to call it, that Cincinnati's going through right now, we got a really big hand in helping out a lot of local contractors that are like aiding in the process of building all these cool new things that you're seeing around town. So I rent and I sell and I do customer service stuff. I'm basically just an aid to whoever needs our help as far as what we do in the industry. So it's definitely in the construction industry. And as much as the political game is all over the place right now, our industry is really, really good right now.
Oh yeah.
Can I
dude.
That
ask you a
sounds
personal
really
question?
interesting.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Fuck, Pat.
I think there are like unexplainable things that happen. There's way too many instances and stories and things of like, I guess what you could say, ghost-related stuff happening.
Pat did all that just for that fucking sound. I'm telling you, he doesn't give a fuck about what you say right now. He did all that just to play that one clip.
I can agree with you after hearing that. Yes,
Son of a bitch, Pat.
I like the X-Files.
I fucking love the X-Files.
Keep going. I'm sorry, Tim.
Yeah.
But ghosts, yeah, I believe there are like unexplainable things that have happened, and they are a lot of people have similar stories to ghost-related stuff. I have actually been involved in a ghost-related incident with Mr. Cody here.
Let's hear
Oh,
it.
we have?
Let's
Ooh.
hear it.
Remember that?
shit, he
I
doesn't
don't.
remember.
It was when we were real young.
When we were in middle school?
Probably.
Wait, okay, I wanted to ask you this before we get back to the ghost thing. How long have I known you? Has it been since elementary school? Or?
I have known you the longest here out of anybody, and I
like-
think it goes back to either.
Fourth
Did you
or
go to
fifth
Weigel?
grade?
Did
Yeah, I
you
went
go
to
to
Weigel.
So
What year
I
did you
would know.
start there?
I started there halfway through 5th grade because I got expelled
Okay.
from my Catholic school.
So me and Tim have known each other for fucking ever,
God damn,
and
I
I've
should have done that sooner.
I ruined my brain in my youth with drugs and alcohol way too early, and I'm speaking only for myself, so I don't remember everything so good. So go ahead and inform me about the ghost story that I forgot about.
It was. I think it was at the. I forget whose house it was. It was either like Go Bells or.
Oh, Jamie's, yeah, the dude that was on the podcast talking
Yeah,
about the
Jamie
Japan
and Jeff. Yeah, I remember them. They're cool dudes.
One is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, throwing a little shade.
Oh.
Gonna have to cut that out now. Thanks, Luke. All right. Anyways, Jesus, Luke,
I don't care.
throwing shade on the podcast. Oh, two redheads about to fight it out, dude. We gotta set that up. Go ahead, Nick. I keep calling you Nick. Why do I keep calling you Nick? Tim.
I don't know why you
Wow.
keep calling me Nick because that's
Who's
not my
Nick?
name.
Who's this Nick guy, Cody?
Yeah,
Let's get
who
to the
is
bottom
this?
of
You talking
Who's
about Nick Farmer?
Who's Nick?
Who's Nick?
No, not Nick Farmer. I don't know. I just have this compulsion to keep calling you Nick for some reason.
Who is
Okay.
it?
Might
But
have
we're
to-
at.
know
I
that.
remember now. Is that seance thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to dive too deep into that.
It's
but
okay. You can say it. I don't give a fuck.
I know,
No,
but like,
let's delve deep into this
Yeah,
rabbit
we wanna
hole.
delve deep into
I want to
it.
know the deepest, darkest things about
I was
you,
a
Tim.
14-year-old kid that thought that I could summon demons, and I tried to do that at a party when we were in middle school, and
Yes.
Succeeded.
weird shit happened.
And
Wow, way
What
to make that
happened?
entertaining for
Let
our
Tim
guests.
talk about it.
What's
I'm gonna get a
what's
beer.
the
I'll be
weird-
right back.
what's the
Maybe I should
weird
say
shit?
this as
the
part.
weird shit was I felt something touching my back, and there was nothing behind me, so I got up and I was like, "Fuck this, ain't doing it, done, out, peace, y'all." And I'm pretty sure
Did you
like
leave?
I walked out the room.
I thought
I
you
walked
meant
out the
you, like,
fucking room. I was
give
up
us some
out of there.
background. I need some background here because I don't know what's going on.
It's
with
hard
this
for me to
story.
set this up. We went over to,
It is
to a
hard.
house. I was super into the devil when I was a kid.
We were like at a like a party or something. It was like something casual.
Yeah, yeah. And then I mentioned it. Everybody
never
clowned me
casual
for a
with the
second.
devil.
I was like, I got this, guys. I could summon Satan to this room.
Yep.
In my little tiny voice. Balls probably hadn't dropped yet. We're in a room together. There's me, you, Jamie's brother. I believe our friend Jake, our friend Joe.
Yep.
A few other people. Who
Yep.
fucking knows?
Sounds
Who cares?
about
It was a
right.
bunch of people.
Sounds about right.
We turned the lights off. We light some fucking candles. I can't remember if there was a Ouija board involved, but I invoke the name of the spirits and the demons. And then everybody's kind of like giggling as like whatever 14-year-olds do. And then next thing we know, people start freaking out. I'm sure people were just fucking with each other in the room, but Tim said he had an odd experience. Jamie didn't notice anything until like he freaked out when we turned the lights on because he was like, I have a fucking scratch on my back and like all this shit. I don't know if he did it to himself.
I
and,
do
like,
remember that. I
maybe-
do remember that.
Yeah, so
it was weird. It was
weird
pretty
shit
weird.
happened.
So I was up out the room. I was like, "Peace, fuck this. I ain't doing it. No way. Not happening."
God damn.
Yeah,
I can't say I've
seances, man.
ever
I forgot
messed
about
with
that.
a Ouija board.
Completely
And it was
forgot about
weird
that.
because I was like, I think I was like the only religious person in the room at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fucking Satan worshiper. I don't know. My personal opinions about it will probably make you upset if you are a religious person. So I'll leave it at that. but
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
don't wanna
religious.
get into
Yeah,
all
let's not
that,
do
but, like-
religion and politics. I feel.
So
No, yeah.
let me ask you this: so let's.
I'm gonna get a beer. Be right
So
back.
ghosts, like would you say you believe in them?
I would say I believe in him.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say a person dies.
Mhm.
Would you say that they died the same way? Like they look the exact same way they died?
Do they,
So,
do
That's
they
a good
maintain their
question.
like death?
Yeah,
so
like,
if a fat
injuries?
person dies, would they die and their ghost be fat?
See, that's a good question. Like, if a 20-year-old chick died right now, would she pop out the wall screaming, "It's Britney, bitch"? Like,
It's Britney, bitch.
yeah.
Brittany. Leave her alone.
Like, is
Sorry.
that a thing? I don't know. If you died, like, when you die, are you into the same things that, like, you were into when you died? Like,
I don't know, but I just really want to know if you'd be fat still.
So here's my belief on it. If your soul I think, aren't we already souls, and then we're just carrying around a body around a soul? Like, a consciousness to me is the soul. Like, that's
They
what...
say the eyes are the window to the soul.
It makes sense, too, because it feels like we're experiencing everything through here and everything attached, the extra pain and all that shit. We're just kind of using this mechanism or this meat sac and blood sac to move our soul or consciousness around, because we're really, if you just think about it, just the brain and the nervous system and the eyes, and the rest of us is just shit to get around and move around and defend ourselves with and to evolve and stuff like that. But,
Well,
like...
if you die fat and you're a ghost, aren't you essentially weightless?
Yeah, wouldn't there even... This
I
is
mean,
what I'm
I
getting
think
to.
that you would
You'd be
look
fluffy.
fat. I mean,
What I'm
I
getting
don't
to,
know.
though, is would you take a form? Wouldn't it just be energy? Like, who knows what... Like, is the ghost really what we perceive it to be?
I don't know. I mean, I know that people say that they seem forms of, like, you know, Civil War
Thank you,
soldiers
Luke.
and that kind of stuff. So, like,
How
I mean,
come,
I assume that there's something.
Like
know,
full
some sort of-
uniform?
how come there's no
just
caveman
in general,
ghosts?
like, when you hear ghost stories, people talk about seeing, you know, forms.
Why are there no caveman ghosts
Maybe they are.
or pirate ghosts? Well, I mean, there's some pirate.
How do you know
ghosts.
there aren't?
Are there?
Have you ever heard of a caveman?
You said
ghost?
that like there's definitive.
We've
proof
all
that
seen
there were pirate
Scooby-Doo.
ghosts.
yeah, Scooby Doo definitely has a lot of pirate ghosts.
Y'all remember Scooby-Doo with the pirate ghost, and they were real? And
It was
the
always old
Ghost
man
of Morgan,
Jenkins.
whatever the fuck.
Isn't there a
Goddamn
theory
Jenkins.
that ghosts are actually just images from other realities crossing the
Yeah.
like
I'm
partly
sure there is.
proving string theory
Yeah.
or whatever?
I mean,
I don't know
probably.
what is purgatory necessarily.
Made up.
Made up. It's not like an in-between world or anything.
Well, I mean, if we're in the religious sense, I would say made up.
I
can see your point there.
I don't know if any of that stuff is real.
Yeah, I don't believe in a
I
higher
don't know.
power,
Again,
but I want
like I said earlier, we
something
don't have to go
awesome to
into all this.
happen when I die. Like, I'm an atheist, but I'm not like, I'm going to die, I'm going to go to the earth, I'm going to make a tree, I'm going to feed to the planet, and the energy's going to recycle. Like, I don't know what's going to happen when I die. I hope it's awesome.
That'd
I
be
hope
cool.
it's sick.
Why not?
Yeah.
You're saying bring back a tree. Fuck that. Bring back the white rhinos. Shit.
Yeah, right. Why not?
Did you hear what they're going to do with that white rhino? So there was a northern white
Clone.
rhino that died
Clone.
today. No, there's 2 female left. It was the only male that was died. I think he was like
Yeah,
46.
he was
Lesbian rhinos,
45
Chad?
years old.
He was 45 years old, and hold on, my dog's knocking down my mic. So he's 45 years old, but there's still a chance of possibly saving the species because there are still 2 female ones, and what they're going to do instead of having a northern one, they're going to mix it with a southern rhino sperm and see if that can possibly generate something new. So there is potential that it could go somewhere, but man, fuck poachers.
Clone them.
Yes.
Oh, so a poacher killed him?
No,
He died of
from-
natural causes.
Yeah.
I thought so,
natural-
because I was like, I'm pretty sure that he was supposed to be strapped with guards at all times.
He old
If you
as
cover
fuck.
her, she'll lay
He
down.
was.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, he was old as fuck, dude. Yeah. Apparently 45. It's crazy that turtles live as long as they do. Why turtles?
Why aren't we cloning
Turtles
things
are
that
adorable.
are extinct?
That's why.
Don't you
Like,
think
we
turtles
have
are...
DNA from the white rhino. We can make more males. We've been making seahorses and other rabbits, dogs for a
Dogs.
long ass time.
Monkeys.
They're breaking
The monkeys.
ground on people.
The fucking monkeys? Why? I just feel like it's just a human rights thing that's stopping them from actually doing the tests for humans.
Who is
Because
the-
think about the actual human rights about it. Because if we're talking about consciousness here, think about the actual the implications of what we're doing
The
here.
implication.
The implication.
This is all. You basically have to take the weird thought process out and just say that
Just gotta fucking do it.
This is the birth of a person. It's not naturally or accustomed to what we would be normally.
How do you
used
think
to,
that
but-
person's going to think, though, when they're conscious and
Don't
aware
know.
of it?
They could possibly have memories from
How about
before
this?
because people say some deja vu is actually just small flashes from your parents' memories.
I get deja vu a lot.
Yeah,
I've never heard
same.
that.
I do too, every single day. But the thing is, it could be them having those memories or a lot of deja vu or an entirely different person. Either way, you'd have to recognize them if they're a sentient being and can hold a conversation with you or not brain dead, mindless creature.
Go back into the deja vu thing. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
You've never had deja vu.
No, I've had deja vu.
Oh, okay.
Of course. We've all had that glitch in the Matrix. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, I get that a
But,
lot.
Some people try
what
to explain deja vu as some sort of link to parents' memories.
yeah,
because
that's
every-
interesting.
Oh,
that-
that's
their DNA
No,
is
no,
in
no.
you down to a core.
Sorry, I'm pointing to the bowl.
Yeah, here you go.
The bowl of
deja.
chips.
I don't think
The bowl of
deja
chips.
vu would be linked to parents' memories because I've had it in places that were like either built or came to fruition while I've been alive. So,
What's the weirdest deja vu you've ever had?
What's
feel
the
like we
weirdest
everyone-
dream you've ever had?
I think it's always weird.
lot.
Like
I've
every
had some
time
weird
that you
ones.
experience it, it's like, how the fuck do
Yeah.
I feel like I've had this exact same
I can't
experience?
pinpoint
Working
an
at
Didn't we just
Really?
have this conversation?
Working at River.
So River-
Constantly having different views from the barrel house and the arcade and bar room. Like,
So just
I
as some
would
background,
have
was
stories-
the brewery that you and I worked at together. Yes. Yeah.
Did you guys drink a lot at this brewery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
Okay, go on.
God damn it, Luke.
God damn it.
Go on.
It's all right. It'll get taken
Yeah,
out.
let's cut that part
I'll
out.
put
What's the next
It'll
subject?
get cut out. That's fine. We can keep talking about it. And I'll just
But-
cut
Oh
the
yeah.
name out.
So just
It's fine.
say the brewery
But
instead.
being
doesn't
in
matter.
certain places and their different smells and conversations with people, I would have vivid callbacks to, like, I've definitely had this before. I've definitely been here. I've definitely dreamt this. This is without a doubt. I've been here before.
Well, it was your
without
job
arguing,
though too,
you
so
know.
you've been there quite often.
No, it was like starting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have deja vu on the reg, bro.
On the reg,
On the
bro.
reg.
Greg.
Or
On the reg. On the reg. Okay. Well, I get it quite often. I couldn't pinpoint.
Would you say daily? You
No,
get
I
deja
wouldn't.
vu?
I wouldn't say
deja
daily.
vu?
No, I wouldn't say daily. I'd say like maybe 2 times a month or something like that. But when it does hit me, it's strong. Like it's like when it does hit me, I stop what I'm doing and I'm like, holy shit! Like I feel like I've been here before.
Can you
It
give us
kind
an
of shakes
example?
you.
An example?
No, like I said, I can't pinpoint an exact moment or anything like that. But like when it does hit me, it's strong and it's like, holy shit! I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've done this. I feel like these people were standing in like the exact same positions they're standing in now. That sort of thing.
What's the weirdest dream you've ever had? I feel like since you might have deja vu, that might have kind of like a REM kind of reflection on your sleep.
Yeah, I wish I could describe my sleeping schedule. My sleep fluctuates because I'm a light sleeper, but when I get into a deep sleep, it's like I'm locked in and I go into some crazy deep places.
Lucid like?
No, that's one thing that I've always wished that I could do is lucid dream. And I've gotten to the extent of where as soon as I realize I'm dreaming, I wake up. And
Yeah,
it
same.
sucks.
Same.
Every time as soon as I realize I'm in the dream, that's when I wake up.
That's where dreams are a little weird for me, because the moment it's possible for you to be aware in your dreams, but still the dream keeps going.
Yeah.
Or like you're just aware and you're able to wake yourself up. Like it like go pinch me.
Well, lucid
Kinda-
dreaming,
I
lucid
heard-
dreaming is where you could take the dream over and do
Yeah.
whatever you
Yeah.
want.
I heard a
essentially.
theory about lucid dreaming that was that if you were practicing something, say that you wanted to learn how to play violin, and you knew just the basics of it, and you were able to get yourself into a lucid dream, which there's many different methods for, the idea is that if you practiced in the dream, for some reason, it would somehow improve your ability to do it in real life also. And
That's
That makes sense.
I don't know where this test
That
came
makes
from.
sense.
I remember Freddie Lockhart talking about it on an old ass episode of Rogan, and then I looked it all up, and this is years and years ago, so I don't know if this is bullshit or where he got this information from.
Oh my
But
God.
just the prospect of that is insane, and you can definitely do things to get into that. Like if you throughout the day walk up to a wall and you knock on it, and then you try to open the wall, like you just do that all the time. Pretend that the wall is the door all day long, and you push on it, or no, that's what it was. You knock. And then you push on it, and then it's just a wall, so it's not going to move. But you do that like 8 times a day, every single day. And then in your dream, that same circumstance will come up, or that same whatever the fuck, the same circumstance will happen. And then you'll walk up to the wall, and you'll press in, and it'll fucking open. And you're like, oh shit, I'm in a dream. I'm dreaming. Oh yeah, that's what you say. Am I dreaming? And you knock, am I dreaming? And then you press on the wall. And if you're not dreaming, it doesn't open. But if you are dreaming, that door opens, and now you can just you fly and do whatever the fuck you want, and like it's just
Right.
like crazy
That's
shit that you
never
can do
been
to get
the
into
case
it.
for me.
Me neither. I've never tried to do
Because-
this, but I've heard of other people that
The only
have
way
and
that
were
I can-
successful with it.
Can understand where you're kind of going at is like I feel like I've had like a dream, and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, that was a good dream, and then I force myself back to sleep, like say I'm sleeping in, and the dream continues.
I've definitely
Yeah.
done that
That's
before.
awesome. I've never been able to do that.
I've
It
definitely
blows my
done that
mind
before.
because dreams only last a couple of seconds in your actual brain. Like
Yeah.
when the actual chemistry goes about it, it's like that DMT kind of effect. You know what I mean? Where
I know exactly
Yes.
what you're talking
it
about.
makes things seem a lot longer than they are, but it's just weird how you can go back into it.
But
if
as
you
far
really
as
need
what
to.
you're saying with the wall,
Mhm.
like you can't plan on that because sometimes I'll realize that I'm dreaming,
Yeah, me too.
being set on whatever dream that I'm already in. It's
Right.
never like
Yeah.
at a wall or like in my house, anywhere in specific. It's always somewhere different.
The dude that I heard talking about it actually had that brought up to him, and he said that the wall would appear because you were doing it so much in your actual life that a lot of times that ends up in your dreams. I guess he's talking, this is all circumstantial evidence based on what one person said and some shit that he read and watched that movie Waking Life. But because you've been doing it all day, that wall will appear in your dreams randomly. But yeah, for me also, every time that I've ever had a lucid dream and I was able to take control of it, one, it ends super quick after I realize, like, I'm flying, now I'm awake, okay, fuck. But like, yeah, so you don't get very long, and on top of that, it's like, it's never like, I've never done anything to try to get into it. It's only ever just happened, like, holy shit, that's weird. Oh, I'm dreaming right now, that's what's going on, and it's like that, but...
It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah,
A
this dude was
lot
saying
of
that
research.
if you practice enough, then eventually you could actually fucking figure out how to do it and then take control of your dreams whenever you
Yeah,
want.
and I'm at a point where like I am just glad that I'm dreaming a little more often, and if I happen to get locked into it to where I can control it, yeah, so be it. But I'm not going to go out of my way because I like my sleep,
Right.
All of my lucid dreams have always been the same.
Always been the same.
I can recall them.
It's like the same
It's the-
area, same
Yes.
atmosphere.
There are always two scenarios. I'm either Spider-Man.
Of course you fucking are.
You
Luke.
would make a great
Swear to
Spider-Man.
God.
I'm picturing the
Freckled
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
movie.
Like
There you go.
And then he
I'm
takes
in
off his
an
mask and it's you.
apartment building. Even the outside is dimly lit, like with a piece of shit light bulb. Swear to God, scaffolding and everything.
Peter Parker ain't got no
Do you have
type
an-
of
And
fire
the other
cross Luke.
one, is I'm at a public pool and I always jump to my death.
Jesus. Do you
So
wake up right
either-
before you
It's
die?
like it's a public pool and I go up the diving board. The diving board seems at a normal height, but when I get to the top, it's like hundreds of feet up.
I would have rather have seen you in every other Spider-Man besides the first one.
Thank you.
I think you would have made a better Spider-Man.
I'm picturing you in,
You're gonna make me
in
cry.
Spider-Man 3, and you have your emo phase, and you're walking around and doing that strut, and then you get out and you start doing that dance. at
Okay,
the
Luke,
jazz
so you're
club.
And then I
Spider-Man. You're
start
walking up to the diving
backhanding
board.
Mary Jane. Yeah,
So-
man. I would jump off the diving board and I would fall down like the hundreds of feet, and I would
There'd be
jumping
no water.
off. I would be facing at the water, but while I'm going down, I'm starting to diverge to the side of the pool.
Oh, it's so
And I hit-
fucking scary.
Yeah, and I hit the ground, and that's when I wake
Strong
up.
wind currents.
Is it one of those...
It's scary, dude.
When you wake up, is it one of those where you feel like you got hit in real life and you fucking
Yeah.
literally jump up
like
out
I
of bed?
feel the jolt
Fucking
from hitting
hate
the
that
ground
feeling.
go up my
Yeah.
I
body.
hate that feeling. Or like I feel like I got smacked in the face real fast and I just like I'm out of
Yeah,
bed
it's
and
intense.
I fucking somehow got my pants on already, like ready to fucking, just adrenaline and fight or flight. And I'm like, now I'm not going back to sleep. Like I'm ready for war right now.
Wired. So, in your personal opinion, why do you think we dream? Personal opinion.
That's a good question. I think that like we dream because that's kind of like our creative side in a sense. You know what I mean? Like our minds are capable of so much more than what they can actually produce on a daily basis. You know, that's why that Limitless movie was like, hey, unlock 100% of your brain. You could do anything.
Well,
That's
we
all-
use 100%
it's all
of our
bullshit.
brain.
We do use
we use
100%.
100% of our brain. It's just, I guess, how we use it at that particular time. But I mean, it's just weird. Like, why do we even need sleep in general? Why does any animal need sleep? Why are we built the way that we need to have that time for rest, and our body needs that? Why do we have in our unconscious some sort of consciousness that still goes on in a way that we can't possibly imagine when we're awake?
See, that's the thing. Earth is like a very natural planet, and there's a lot of like connections that like you can kind of respond to, and that's why I feel like when you enter a room and there's people in the room and there's like a negative vibe or anything,
You can feel
I
that.
feel like you can pick up
You
on
can taste
that.
it in the air,
Yeah,
my
there's-
dude. Like
there's
like
a-
it's sticky in the air. Like what the
I think
fuck's
that's a
happening
real
in here?
thing. Yeah, there's vibrations that are like that you can pick up on or pick up off of. And like you can either go with them or they're either going to send you away. Like that's why I feel like we can attract to certain people.
Definitely.
And
There's like a singular like human like consciousness.
yes, yeah. Do you guys believe in karma?
Yeah, I
To
do
an extent.
actually.
I mean,
yeah, same.
I don't think that it's 100% like for sure that if you're putting good out there, you'll get good back, and for sure bad equals bad. But if you're a prick all the time, there's a real life consequence to that. You don't have any fucking friends because you're an asshole, and like there's consequences to these things, and I think that's what karma
There's
is.
consequences,
These
to every action that you do.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, negative and positive is very what's the word? Subjective or opinionated. Like it just depends on what you think is negative or positive. But like, if you're not surrounded by other humans, like you go crazy. So like, if you're a prick all the time, that's definitely negative because you're not getting something that makes you feel better as a person.
I would agree.
So yeah, I think in that aspect, I 100% believe in karma.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I'm
I'm
with
sorry,
you.
I go so balls deep on this. I mean,
Yeah, no,
it's a
smoke
deep
pot,
subject.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
bro, this shit's deep as fuck.
It does get deep, man. And that's why I like talking about it, because it's like these are things that I think about on a daily basis, and it's good to hear that like other people think about these things.
110%.
It's kind of
man.
wild if you think about it. Because I remember
It's crazy.
I've never really done like a lot of drugs. I've only smoked weed, and I smoked
Step your game up,
spice.
rookie. No,
I
I'm just
I
kidding.
did smoke spice when I
Luke, the cokehead over here.
and when I smoked spice, I used to have these really disturbing thoughts for months afterwards. It's horrible. I'm glad that I stopped ever doing that. That's some fucked up shit. to do.
Spices and K2.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
the
yeah,
fake weed.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you also stopped.
Yeah,
I'd
that
probably
shit
be
was
dead.
not good.
Yeah.
Gnarly
We didn't
bad.
know
Not
that.
good.
Super
It'd
bad.
ruin you.
Yeah, we didn't know that at the time, so that's why we did that.
A lot
at
of
the
people
time.
didn't.
So
Yeah.
I remember I would have these really fucked up thoughts that would just become, I guess, super aware if you must, where I would think of like, wow, we're just flesh and fluid, and it's just really fucking freaky if you really think about how fucked up and strange that we really are. These little machines inside of
Yeah.
us and all this.
Have you ever tried to explain to yourself what a soul could possibly be?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But go into your opinion.
Well,
like
I
this
mean, I don't
topic.
know. Because I used to, at one point, strongly believe that there isn't ever such a thing. That on a realistic level, that the soul is just a collection of all the events and experiences that you've encountered. Which is why that there are things such as sociopaths.
Yeah, but if
Why
you didn't
there
have a
are
soul,
killers.
I don't think you could pick up on like the whole vibe thing.
Well, that's instinct.
Yeah, that's
No,
That's
definitely
survival
instinct.
That's a
instinct
good
down
point.
to the
That's a
core.
good point. But I think that has something to do with like the attachment of the soul and like
Now, this is just something I used to believe when I was in a much darker place.
okay.
Well, if you honestly think about it, I mean, we're all raised as just a blank slate.
Yeah,
We're,
exactly.
We all grow up by our parents. Those are two different people that have lived two different lives, and it's all just combined together. And you'll never have the same combination ever.
You're the product of your parents.
Exactly. You're product of your environment is what you
Yes.
are, and that's
Yes.
what makes everybody their own individual person. Other than that, we're all born the same. Despite, I mean, of course, there's like brain defects and things like that that can
Right.
obviously control the mental development, but we're all born the same, and we're all just products of our environment, and we grow up that way. So in a way, we all are the same. It's just how we go about it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just how consciousness works.
My parents are great people, don't get me wrong, but like I grew up with these guys. So it's like I'm a product of this environment. It's like, we were all smart enough to know like what was cool, what like you should stay away from. Like we knew the people that were around us, that, like who to like chill with, who not to be around, you know, who to shy away from and stuff like that, which was, I think we were pretty smart for doing that.
At a bunch of points in my life, I was definitely the person to shy away from.
No,
I
man.
I wholeheartedly
Nah.
admit this. I did all kinds of bad
Cody.
stuff back in the day. I remember it.
A lot of points where you were probably shying away from people, I was probably like trying to get closer with you guys because like you guys
Right.
were always cool. Like you guys always were real, like amongst the huge crowds of fake ass people that we were around.
I felt like we were always cool, but we never really chilled that much, so we were never like super close. But like every time that I ever met you or hung out with you, it was always a positive experience. so-
Yeah, and that's like how I like to keep it, Like I hate fake encounters. I hate fake people.
Yeah.
Like I hate people who just like try to go out of their way to give themselves a certain image. Like
To
I
keep
can't
appearances.
stand that shit. You know what I mean?
I
It's
think you're also
exhausting.
a super positive, happy dude that's happy in your own life. So like you spread that shit, and when you feel somebody, it's like it goes back to the feelings in a room. When you feel something that's the polar opposite of that, you're just like, oh god, dude, I don't want to be that. I don't want to like be around
Yes.
that. Like that's just like get the fuck away from me, like right
Yes,
quick.
I feel like people have a certain image that they'd like to picture themselves into at some point in time, and the only thing separating you between that is like your attitude and the way your work ethic and the way you get to that.
Right, definitely.
Really depends on how bad you really want to.
That's true. It depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
trying to be a like super big pop star or something, that's obviously going to be a little harder than
You're
just trying
gonna
to.
need to try
Yeah.
really fucking hard.
You can either be a super huge pop star or just be totally content with like owning like a one level house and having a couple dogs or something. You know, there's a huge difference there.
Yeah.
It's all about what you're trying to get to. You know,
Right.
everybody's got their own thing that they want to do, and you know, as long as you keep it positive on the way there, you know, you should be just fine.
Right. What were we talking about before this? I feel like I had thought about it. Oh, yeah, souls. Going back to that really quickly, I think that since you guys all broke it down real quick, I just want to give my 2 cents. I think I'd said it earlier too, maybe, but to me, the soul is just like consciousness. It's the best way that I could ever describe it. To me, it means the same thing. In my mind, they're the exact same thing. So, like, I just think that soul is a different way for me to say consciousness, and I don't really... It's hard for me to point to a belief system and be like, that one for sure, but, like... it's all definitely energy. I'm definitely conscious. I'm definitely a brain thinking. Like, all this is for sure. I know all this for sure. So, like, I could call that a soul, and I think that's what it is for me.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, I haven't heard you say anything about it, Rachel.
Yeah, I totally think that souls are a thing for sure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
God damn it.
No, really, I do. I mean, it's yeah. I totally. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. So I definitely believe in souls and believe that there's something after this and believe in a higher power, but not necessarily in like an organized religion sort of sense. So yeah, I believe in reincarnation and I believe in souls. I believe that we're all kind of on a mission. Our souls are all kind of on.
What do you believe you'd be reincarnated as?
That's a good question. We should all answer this.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd hope to be a shark. A big, beautiful shark.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't really know the rules of how it would go if you could reincarnate into a creature or you have to stay within, your species path.
What would be the worst thing you could be reincarnated as? That's a
slug?
really... A slug?
Slug's pretty bad.
Bob Saget.
He's doing pretty well,
facts.
though.
He's doing all right.
I mean, I feel like I don't like his comedy, but he's
His
making
comedy
it.
is scary.
He's just
Full
like, how many
House.
times could we say fuck? And he
And
gets paid to
how
do
many
it?
times can I joke about fucking my TV daughters?
Yeah.
He gets pretty dark, and it's like, damn, they let this guy near kids?
Yeah.
I'm okay with the darkness. It just doesn't make any fucking like sense. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry to shit on Bob Saget. I'm nobody, and I'm over here like, you know what I don't like about Bob Saget? Like,
Everything.
he's a millionaire. What am I talking about? But I don't know. I don't particularly like his comedy, and it seems like he just says curse words a lot and tries to take it as dark as possible with no real point.
Hold on,
Who's
but
I don't
America's
know
Funniest
what-
Home Videos.
Yeah, well, anybody can
You don't
host
remember that?
that show.
Anybody
It's
could.
just home videos.
Okay,
like,
Bill
what do you gotta
Cosby
do?
hosted
makes shitty
the
dad
darndest
jokes.
things
Yeah.
kids say,
Like,
and he
here's
raped a
$300,000.
bunch of women.
God damn.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
Who's a comedian that you guys are really into right now?
Patton Oswalt,
Dude, there's
forever
so
and
many.
always.
Patton Oswalt. That
Forever and always.
dude. That dude has been around for a long time.
He's my favorite.
I mean, I could rattle off like Stanhope, Segura, fucking
All
Dan
of those
Soder,
guys.
Attell, fucking
Yep.
Chappelle. Like I could just go on forever and ever and ever and ever. Like I don't. There's not one. I'm like a super comedy nerd.
Jesselnick's fucking great.
Carrot Top for me.
I love
Carrot
Bert
Top,
Kreischer.
classic.
Carrot Top,
I
this
like that.
motherfucker.
Get out of here.
I
I don't
like
think there's
that.
anything wrong with that dude. I really don't know if you like
Prop
that.
So
comedy
buff.
is washed.
Yeah, dude's he's stopping.
He's
He
a
quit working
freaky-
out because people fucked with him so hard about it, and he was like, "I'm just trying to be in shape." He's like, "Yeah, I mean, he's for sure on like some steroids or something, but that's not bad."
Did he get plastic
It's his
surgery?
hair,
For
dude.
sure.
His face is
Yeah.
freaky.
His face is weird,
He's
but
a weird
like,
looking dude.
I mean, he's like, he went out of his way to get super in shape, and everybody's like, "You look fucking ridiculous with those muscles." So he quit working out because he's like,
What was he
it's
supposed
like, why
to
you
do?
gotta
Be
shit
fat?
on the dudes? Yeah, I'm like,
Does
why are you guys
every
shitting on him
comedian
so
have
hard?
to be fat?
Yeah, if he wasn't like fucking jacked, like you would be happier if he was a big slobulent like fat fuck. Like it's how does that? I don't know.
That should
Nothing wrong
should
with
have
that dude.
been his lesson right there to stop caring about his fake fan
Right.
base.
There's also nothing
he
wrong with
killed
Bob
it on
Saget. I'm
those
sorry that
collect-
shit on you, Bob Saget.
He
Sure, you'll
killed-
listen to this episode and be very disappointed in me personally.
All hail Bob Saget.
All
Carrot-
hail Bob Saget.
Carrot Top definitely killed it on those collect
Pat, I
calls.
just want to interrupt you
Man.
again.
Carrot Top killed it. Carrot Top killed it.
As a prop comic,
Sorry, I saw an opening and I took it.
Nah, it's cool.
Dude, to be honest, so like whenever I go out of town or anything, one thing I make it a point to do is to go to a comedy club. Like if
really?
if I go
I
to
didn't know you did that, man.
I love it. I love live comedy. So My recent trip, I went out to Vegas for work, and I went to Colorado shortly after to visit, the friends that we know.
Yeah.
And while I was in Vegas, I went to Brad Garrett's comedy club.
Oh,
And
yeah?
for those of you who don't know who Brad Garrett is, he was the tall, deep-voiced dude from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? The brother?
Yes, sir.
Raymond's brother?
Isn't he one of the M&Ms?
Yeah, I think he is actually.
I think he's the yellow M&M.
Really?
I don't know. I just agree with
Obscure
that.
fact about that guy.
That
I'm
could-
so impressed right
I
now.
have
That
no
would
idea,
make
but to continue
sense.
the idea, I was like, "Yep, I sure know what you're talking about, Pat." All right, so anyways,
That would make sense. I
That
mean,
might
thinking
not be
about
true.
his
I
voice
don't know.
now. But anyways, so I was out there, saw a show there. It was super cool. And like if I'm in Chicago or in Milwaukee or something like that, I love to catch local live comedy. It's like one of my favorite things to do, like while I'm out of town, because honestly, those small comedy shows with somebody who's
So
not like
good.
super big and can just get super raunchy with the crowd.
real
it's
intimate spots for
hilarious.
comedy are fucking amazing. Like,
Oh yeah, you're like right next to the stage.
I mean-
so the Brad Garrett show was in Vegas, and while I was there, the AVN Porn Star Awards were the same week.
did you check
Oh,
that out
sick.
too?
I did not check that out, but there were a couple porn stars in the crowd while I was there,
Oh, shit.
and the comedian that was on stage was just ripping on them so much that they actually had to get up and walk out.
Oh my god.
What was
It
he
was
saying?
fantastic. Oh, he was just dogging him. Like, he was just ripping them left and right, and it was hilarious. Like, we were all laughing so hard, and they were so not having it, so they just got up and left. But it's like those close and intimate shows that are always going to be the best comedy shows. Like, I've always had the best laughs there. Actually, one time I saw Steve-O at the Liberty Bone.
What?
Is he good?
Oh yeah, wasn't that pretty recent?
Is he good?
Yes, and
Because
we
he's fairly new to comedy, right? Last couple
yeah,
of years.
well, see, here's the thing. So I'll give you a background. So he did this stunt in like LA or something where he climbed to the top of a crane, inflated an orca whale. Like he
Protest
watched,
Sea
he
World.
watched that,
Trouble.
he watched that documentary on
Went to
orca
jail for
whales, and he
Blackfish.
yes,
He saw
and he
blackfish.
inflated an orca whale on top of this crane, launched it off the crane, set fireworks off on top of the crane. There was like 3 SWAT teams and
Fire
a couple
department had
fire
to get him
departments.
down,
Yeah.
all this shit.
So once he
he's
got
like
down,
live streaming from the top on his cell phone.
yeah, so once he got down, obviously he got in trouble for that, and he's got this huge
Crazy
bill
person.
for all these SWAT teams and fire trucks and shit, so he went on tour doing comedy. Well, one of his stops was at the Liberty Bone, and one of my friends that I was with there at the time knew him. This guy used to run with the Jackass guys, and they used to break bottles over his head. That was kind of like his thing. And he was like, hey, I got to go to this place called Neon's tonight. Can I ride with you guys? So we gave Steve-O a ride down
No
to
shit.
OTR. And this was at the point to where like he was completely sober. So we lit a blunt in the car and whatever. And he was like, hey, can you guys put that out? Like, you care if you put that out? I'm like, you're fucking Steve-O, dude. Yeah, for sure. I'm putting this out right now.
It's awesome.
So yeah, so we gave him a ride all the way from Liberty Township down to OTR. We walked into Neon's with Steve-O, and everybody there is just looking at us like, what the
you guys are Steve-O's
You get
posse.
laid?
damn.
Yeah.
What did
We
that
were
feel like?
part
That
of
had to have been
Steve-O's
such a weird
posse.
fucking feeling.
Oh, it was crazy, but it was tight as hell.
Yeah, dude.
I was walking in like, what's up? What's up? What's up? So it was cool. And I saw people that like I knew there, and they were like, dude, are you rolling with Steve-O? I'm like,
Yep.
yes.
Sure am.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
This
tonight.
is a part of my life you didn't know about.
Just tonight, but like, yes, I am. So
That's
So,
such a
so you
good
totally
story.
got laid, right?
no, I think I was single at the time, but
By
like,
Steve-O?
no, Steve-O.
You didn't let
was-
him lick it? Come on, bro.
No, Steve-O was a totally cool dude, though. Totally chill. Like, he's a funny ass dude, just like he is in the movies and the shows and stuff like that. So he's an even better dude in person.
Right.
Hell
But
yeah.
it was really cool. That was a really cool experience for me. I
That's
gotta say.
always nice seeing like a celebrity like on film and
Yeah.
then knowing they're actually a cool dude in
Well,
person.
that dude, like, he's not like a mainstream actor or anything. Like, he's totally humble, totally chill dude. Like, you can have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
That's
tight.
Yeah.
We're at an hour 12, Pat. He's asking about the time off of the thing. I had a really good experience with the last comedy show that I went to. It's also my favorite thus far. Big J Okerson. It was a really good fucking show. So I'd been like getting a couple drinks in me because it's a Thursday show, and I'm expecting like maybe the audience will suck. I wanted to get the other tickets for Friday or Saturday, but they completely sold out. So I was like, all right, I'll go to the Thursday show. And I'm thinking like, maybe it's going to be like, his whole thing is like crowd work. So I was like, if the crowd's not into it, like it might be a shit show.
Is he a local guy?
No. He's a big comedian from New York. He's on Conan all the time. And well, he can't really do his set on Conan. He can only be interviewed because he's that filthy. But he hosts one of the most offensive. They label themselves the most offensive podcast of all time. It's called Legion of Skanks with Dave Smith and Louis J. Gomez. Shout out. One of my favorite fucking podcasts. He does Roastmasters, the SDR show. He's doing everything all the time. He's fucking great. He's got a couple episodes on Rogan. Check those out too. So anyways, we go up to see him at the same spot, the Liberty Funny Bone. It's a great fucking club up in Westchester.
Great place.
And like I'm having a couple drinks and it's making me want to smoke. And I keep running outside to get a cigarette. They go down and seat us, and I was like, "Is it cool if I go and smoke before the show starts?" Because they set you like 30 minutes ahead, so they can make extra money off you from booze and fucking food.
Yep, appetizers.
And I was like, "Yeah." So I'm gonna go outside and smoke. And it's like 15 minutes before the show. I walk out, I light up my cigarette, and I just look to my right, and Big J's like standing right there next to the marquee. And I was like, I'm not gonna not take the opportunity to say what's up. So I just walk up to him like, "Hey, what happened? Did we lose our headphones?"
That was my fault.
Okay. Can everybody hear in their headphones?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, listeners, and
My
Luke,
bad.
who doesn't know what's going
We'll
on.
edit that out.
Yeah, it's all good. But anyways, he's out there, and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And then he takes his headphones off, like, "Oh, what's going on? Cool jacket." And then he like points to some of the patches, and he was like, "Ghost, oh, fucking just saw them like a couple months ago or whatever the fuck." And like we sit there and talk for a sec. It was a super surreal moment. And then I was like, he was such a cool dude just now, and like said nice jacket, like that was awesome. And then I go in like, please fucking this audience be good, and like I'm gonna laugh extra hard, just I'm trying to get this fucking energy going, like something. But he didn't need it all like this because the opener was all right, the other dude was like all right, and I was like, fuck, the crowd's not feeling it. I was like, maybe it's not going to be like an intensely hilarious show that I'm hoping it will be. And then he comes out and just starts destroying immediately, like crowd work, like shitting on people, and fucking everybody's laughing their balls off. Like I'm gut laughing so hard, I'm holding my girlfriend, like gut laughing as hard as I can, and like my sides are like hurting. It was like crazy belly laugh show. That was the best fucking comedy show that I've ever gone to. If you guys ever get the chance, go see Big J Okerson.
Confidence is a big part of a comedian's career, you know.
Right.
If you got the confidence to go on stage and just kill it, like you most of the time will.
That was going to be a good show no
that.
matter what. And if nobody laughed, they were fucking morons. Because goddamn, it was the funniest shit ever. Like as soon as he gets out there, I'm not going to do any of these bits justice, and it's not going to be funny. But he walks out and he goes up to this table, and the MC and the feature was trying to do crowd work on them both, and nobody was laughing. He comes out immediately, points to the same table that none of them could say anything about. It's two girls in front and the one dude in the back, and he's like, "So tell me about this reverse gangbang that's going on right now. What's happening? You all right, dude? Everything okay? You getting tied up after the show?" Like just starts like laying into him, and people were just already falling out of their seats laughing. I was like, thank God, it's gonna be a good fucking show. And then saw him outside like smoking after the show and shit. That dude's like a fun fucking dude. Like just a really good fucking
set
show.
up a booth to take a picture with everybody who was at the show. He had like a nice camera and everything. Like he made it a point to take a photograph with everybody who attended the show.
He talked about that on the Joe Rogan podcast.
I was about to say, I heard
about how he makes a point to do that every show.
It was pretty
Rogan
cool.
does that too, right? They fucking set up the booth and they meet every single person, takes a picture
I'm
of every
pretty
single
sure
person.
in a recent episode he said he couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, he said
He
he can't
can't?
do it anymore. He just has too many people.
Well, that's the thing. Like the Funny Bone holds a capacity of 100 people max. You know,
it might be like 200
With
but
the
it's
upper floor
It's
yeah,
a
but
minimal
like
amount of
you
people.
can run through a line and
Yeah.
just take a snapshot with them real quick. You know,
Right.
It's
right.
a great
it's
place.
an extra 30 minutes after the show. What's that to like the experience that they get to have?
And the Liberty Funny Bone's like brand new. It's a really good fucking stage, and I've only heard the comedians say good things about it too. That's a solid fucking club. If you
We
guys
need to
Yes.
look into getting Bert Kreischer tickets. soon.
Oh my god, we
Yeah.
got to go see the Machine. I
Yeah.
can't fucking wait
That'd be
for that.
fun.
I'm going to see Bill Burr on April 7th.
Bill Burr
at the
is
you
a
Tap.
managed to
great
get the
comedian.
tickets there, you
So-
son of a gun.
He added a second late show. My girlfriend bought the tickets as soon as it happened. She got the notifications
That's
right away.
dope.
Bought us 2 tickets, and their balcony like nosebleeds. But fuck it, dude. I'm seeing Bill Burr, and it's gonna be weird because it's not gonna be the fucking like intimate experience, and it's the only time that I've ever gone to a theater to see comedy, like ever. And I'm going to
Dude,
like
it's still Bill Burr.
yeah, I know. No, I
You
know,
gonna meet
but
him?
I'm just like it might be different. I don't know if he does like meet and greets, but hopefully.
I saw
Eh.
Chris Hardwick in like a theater, and it was still really good.
Oh, I take it back. I've actually seen a couple comedians at that same theater. I saw Kyle Kinane and Jeff Tate, a Cincinnati local comedian. He's really good, and he's also kind of big. He's on a bunch of different podcasts. Dude's funny as fuck. I've seen him like 5 times, but I saw him open for Kyle Kinane, or feature for Kyle Kinane up at the Taft Theater, like downstairs in that big ass thing. So I take it back. I have seen it. It was fine, but I've
Very
never been
cool.
in like a balcony watching comedy. Like,
Right.
that might be different. I
I
don't know.
love supporting local guys too. You know, anybody who's like from Cincinnati trying to do something in Cincinnati, all for it.
I was
Yeah.
about to ask, does Cincinnati even have much of a Cincinnati comic?
Yes.
They
Yeah.
Oh my
do.
god,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Comedy.
I'm a part of a couple pages on there because I'm trying to work up the nerve
Jay
to go
Armstrong,
to an
shout
open
out.
mic.
You want to do it?
Yeah, and they're all super supportive, but I'm just a nervous piece of shit.
Do you have any good jokes?
I mean, I write stuff.
I'd love to hear some.
Can we
Tell
hear
us
some
a
of
Not
your
joke
right
criteria?
now,
criteria?
right now, but I just in general, I'd like to hear some.
No, let's
stuff.
hear some of it. I mean, if you
No,
got anything that you're
sir.
comfortable with, you know.
This is like all of those classic moments that comics talk about, like, "Oh, you're
Tell
a
us a
comic, be
joke.
funny right now."
Yeah, I
no,
don't-
no. You can't.
us your
You can't
best joke.
force comedy. That's not a thing. It's totally a different comfort level that you got to be in to do comedy,
Right.
and you can't just force that on the spot or anything like that. But what happened with that comedy club that used to be in Newport?
They shut it down because it's right next to where I work, and it was a shithole.
See, that's ridiculous. I had a great time there.
I mean, I had some alright experiences, but I've heard the comedians like bitch, moan, and complain about how horrible it was and how bad the crowds were. Since it's attached to a mall, people just walk in to see comedy. They're not walking in to see a specific person, which is a real problem sometimes. When you would never this is a point that 1,000 comedians, Doug Stanhope, has made. I'm not trying to steal their point, but it's a valid point. And I'm gonna bring it up again. But you would never fucking buy tickets if the venue said music, would you? Because music could be anything from a girl sitting there with a fucking tambourine and screaming at the top of her lungs
Yeah.
to like fucking Slayer to like Justin Bieber. Like, you wouldn't just buy tickets to music
the thing, like,
arbitrarily, but
Brad
people do
Garrett-
that for comedy, and it's like, why the fuck would you do that for comedy?
So
Like,
the
that's
comedy
crazy.
club I went to out in Vegas was in the middle of MGM Grand, which is almost like a mall, if you will. So it's like you can just be walking around and stumble upon this comedy club and just walk right in and see whoever's performing. See, that's the thing about
I think if you're a
music.
comedy fan though, that's fine. But like, most
Yeah.
people go into those shows just like, make me laugh, comedian.
Well, see, music is a wide genre. Comedy is like, here's my comic routine. You know, hopefully you find it funny. You know,
I would definitely disagree with that. So I just listen to so much of it that there's storyteller comedians, there's one-liner dudes, there's fucking dudes that have some mix match, there's dudes that are going for super weird avant-garde like shit to like the traditional, like there's
Expressing
There's
their
different
opinions.
different ways
styles.
to get up there, and
there's many different styles,
Right.
but ultimately a comedian wants to make you laugh, right?
yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, music can make you feel all kinds of different ways.
I think music's definitely more diverse, but it doesn't make comedy not diverse and not like
Comedy's absolutely
yeah.
diverse, but I think there's a more precise end game as far as comedy versus
definitely.
music.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, so I wish that club was still around. It'd be nice to have a local spot to go to.
There is.
catch
There's
some.
Go Bananas. Not Go Bananas. It's
Go Bananas.
It is Go Bananas.
I've been to
down
Go
there.
Bananas.
It's a great
Go
fucking
Bananas.
comedy club. I see Jeff Tate there up there all the time.
Where's that at?
Montgomery Road.
There's a
Oh,
bar.
really?
Right,
Yep.
what's
Right
cool
off
about
of-
the Go Bananas place is that there's a bar right next door, so
Yeah.
the comedians go and drink there. And
It's
I
the
remember
first
drinking
comedy
with a
club that I
couple
ever
of
went
them.
to.
I did not know that.
I know Urban
Stanhope used to-
Artifact is starting to host like locals.
Yeah, I did see that. They're doing a lot, actually.
Yeah.
They are doing, like, DJ sets, cover bands. They got, like, a David Bowie cover band. One of my favorite local metal bands, shout out Casino Warrior, is a performer at Urban Artifact from time to time. They have a lot of diverse stuff there. That is a good point that you
They've
bring
got
up.
some awesome beers too.
Yeah, they have really good beer. They
Seriously
have
good.
really stepped it up recently, and they have really good beer.
What kind of beers have you guys had from there specifically? Shout outs. What are your favorite beers from the spot?
Can't remember the name specifically, but they got like some good. They got like a Bourbon County beer. Like if you guys like dark beers,
Like a
I-
bourbon barrel or something?
Yeah,
like that?
it's like a. They do sours a lot, and sours can be aged in bourbon barrels, wine barrels, even tequila barrels, and sometimes hot sauce barrels, which is awesome in my mind. But they have like really good like Bourbon County beers. They got dark beers. They got hoppy beers that are super tasty.
They've got some great fruit infusion beers.
Yeah,
like
they
Squeeze
do-
Box is their seasonal beer that just came out, and it's like a fruit-based beer. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, they
so.
do a lot
Oh,
with
yeah.
sours, and that's where like you and me kind of come from, Luke, and we do a lot of stuff with sours, or at least we did. But yeah, they got a lot of good fruity beers, tasty beers. It's a good time.
I don't know what it is about sours that I just can't get into though. Like,
I love it.
you like the sour beers?
I like sour drinks.
It was an acquired
Oh,
taste.
Pat's
There's
like,
a
I like
lot
a
that
sour
goes
Mike's
into it.
Hard Lemonade.
There's a lot that goes into
Or a
it. Like
nice sour Red's Apple Ale. Yes, I
I
understand.
mean, we
Patrick.
used to age like natural fruit in barrels for upwards to 3 years and make beer out of that. It'd be
Right.
a small batch release, but it tasted fantastic.
How acquired of a taste was sours for either of you two guys?
Mine was an acquired taste.
Was
It
yours,
was.
or did you like
Yeah.
it right
but
on the
I
get-go?
definitely
I liked 'em right
picked it
away.
up pretty
Yeah.
quick, and I liked trying all the different seasonal ones that came out while
For
I worked
me-
there, because I could definitely then up my palate, I guess I could say,
Right.
by tasting them all.
Right. I had a quick transition, I think, because it's like we went from like partying in high school, drinking light beer.
Milwaukee Beasts.
No, I didn't. I wasn't a Milwaukee
Keystone.
dude.
Oh, that was me and Russ.
I'm actually still to this day a full representative of the High Life. I love like the High Life ice cold in bottles. It's still a great beer. But
The champagne of grossness.
the champagne of
Sorry.
beers.
I don't
Crisp
like
and smooth, DJ Girth on W Balls. But anyways,
W Balls, fuck FM. Oh yeah.
there you
Take
go.
your pants off.
There you go. That's what the F in FM stands for. But
Fuck me. Yeah.
it was like a quick transition because I started working at Rivertown. I started working at the brewery, and I started learning how all these different types of beers were. You probably did too. And we got to try a lot of different beers. We got to learn about like what makes them different and stuff. And that's what introduced me to a whole new world. And I picked that up and ran with it because it was amazing. There's a lot that goes into brewing beer. And especially when you start infusing stuff like ghost peppers.
There's
or,
ghost pepper infused beer. I mean, of
Oh,
course there
yeah.
are, but like, what the fuck is that like?
It was
So-
a learning experience.
You'll find that like the hotter stuff will be in the darker beers with like high alcohol content.
Are you talking about like stouts, imperial stouts,
Yeah,
porters,
like
and
a
stuff like
more
those, man?
specifically like a Russian imperial
Oh
stout.
yeah, like a fucking Rasputin or something like that.
Death.
This was called Death. The name of the beer was
Ooh.
called Death.
Spooky.
And like it wasn't like in your face spicy, which some beers can be, but like you got like a good tingling aftertaste like down your esophagus almost.
I
And
feel like that's manageable, but if I was drinking hot sauce beer, I'd be upset. Like
if you
it
got
just-
bad acid reflux, I would not suggest it.
I wouldn't go for it
At
then.
all. They got like curry beers, like they got all types. Like they got peanut butter and jelly beers.
Why? So you can
They-
smell worse when you wake up in the
Espresso
morning
bean.
and you drink. Like I love
If you
fucking
drink a
curries
lot.
and shit like that, but like if you eat it, that's the turmeric and all the shit that goes in, like it just makes you smell fucking strange.
But that's
to the old
good
nostrils
for you.
There. You wake up in the morning all sweaty from your liver doing double time trying to get the 14 beers out of it that you put down in 3 hours, and then you fucking wake up and you smell like curry. That's automatic fucking hangover vomit.
As
fucking
far
I
love
couldn't
curry.
go, bro.
As far
I love
as-
it too, but goddamn, you smell bad if you eat a lot of it.
as far as the spicy side of things go with that, that is good for you. Like it's good to like
Oh, yeah.
sweat your pores out, get the
It burns
spiciness
fat.
in you.
Yeah.
It burns
raises
fat.
your internal body temperature.
It like opens
and it
up
increases
your
immune system.
Yeah.
All kinds of good stuff. Positive.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. So the fact that they incorporate that into beer, it's like I'm all for it. Yeah.
Right on. For me, the sours thing, just to touch on something that was a while ago, is like every time that I drank it, it was like, it's almost like you get a tinny taste in your mouth that I couldn't overcome. Like it was like hard for me to drink it because I would get the only one that I've really given a shot to, and maybe I just tried the wrong one. Rheingeist that has a like a pink can or something like that. Bubbles, that's what it was.
Yep.
And
That's
it
like a
tasted
cider. It's a they said they marketed
No,
it
that's
as
a rosé.
ale.
Yeah, that's a rosé
but
ale or rose
It said
ale.
something about
originally a
sour.
cider.
See, Rheingeist, when you go in there, it's like, would you like hoppy or more hoppy?
Well,
Yeah, truth is too crazy. I like Andromeda though. They dropped Andromeda, and that's
That
pretty
is a good beer. I
It's
do
a
like. I
solid.
mean, if you like hoppy beers, you would love their beers. But I
don't.
wouldn't.
I like a strong beer, like a porter or stout, but I don't want something that's fucking get in your face hop. That's
Yeah.
like to me the worst part of the beer is like the sour bitterness that you get.
Yeah.
And the IPAs are just like, how much of this can we cram in your face? And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
Way too fucking much apparently. Goddamn.
So I just went to Stout Fest last Friday at Molly Malone's in Covington, and they had like these crazy stouts that were like aged in 23-year-old bourbon barrels and stuff like that.
My word.
I like
Oh,
a bourbon
yeah.
barrel ale too.
They were
but-
like 17%, 13%.
yeah, you drink 2 of those and you're on the floor. Like,
well, they
oh,
gave you
fucking-
little cups for it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
little baby fellas.
We bought the VIP tickets, and they were like still pretty little cups, but it was I mean, they tasted great. They were so good. The fact that they can do what they do with beer is awesome.
Do you ever go up to the Jungle Jim's tastings and try out all their selections? And
I
shit?
We've got a
wish.
crazy selection.
I
Yeah,
wish I
dude.
did, but like it's just a little far drive.
I
a lot of
got
the way.
you.
You got so
I live
many.
10 minutes from it.
Oh, that's
I
perfect.
hate you,
Oh,
Luke. I
that
fucking
sounds
I want to go to
There's
Jungle Jim's all the
so
time.
Jungle
but I
Jim's
can't
many-
'cause it's too far.
There's
Let's arrange
so
a field
many
trip.
microbreweries
Yeah, we should.
in
I fucking love
Cincinnati.
Jungle Jim's.
There's so many breweries in Cincinnati right now. It is unreal. It's hard to keep up with almost. So you got so many options, so many locations. I mean, literally every area of town is not far. It's like a gas station. You're like probably pretty close to a brewery.
Yeah.
You know, you can go down there and try all different types of stuff. A lot of people have guest taps. It's awesome.
I didn't realize that till I worked with where we worked.
Yeah. I didn't either. I mean, it was convenient for me because it was like a mile away from where I had worked during the day, but I would still enjoy going out to different places and trying different things, you know?
You
Yeah.
mentioned traveling a lot. Without being able to say Cincinnati, what's your favorite other city to travel to?
It's hard to say because I haven't visited enough
Top
of them
three.
yet. Top three.
Just out of what you got so far.
I've been to Colorado 3 times, Denver and Boulder specifically. That'd probably be all top 3 so far. I haven't been to Cali yet, and I haven't been out of the country yet, but as far as the states go, and for what I've seen so far, I mean, Colorado's been absolutely beautiful every time.
Heads up for you, because I'm sure you'll find some sort of fucking way to do it. When you go to California, see if you can't get away into the Comedy Store.
Into the Comedy Store?
Yeah.
in LA.
What's the Comedy Store?
The greatest comedy.
It's basically where
Club
Richard
of all
Pryor
time.
filmed his specials back in the day, and where like a bunch of famous comedians got their start.
Oh, okay.
Mitzi Shore owned the
Okay.
place. It used
What
to
city?
be it's LA, Los
Oh,
Angeles.
LA. Okay.
The Comedy Store is one of the most famous comedy clubs of all time ever. I think it's one of the first in the, or at least, no, the Ice House is the oldest, but it's definitely one of the couple first. It used to be Ciro's nightclub, which was like a LA gangster hangout back in the 20s and shit. They would kill people downstairs, and anybody that's listened to Rogan has heard him say it 1,000 times, just regurgitating what he said. But that's where everybody's at right now. Like if you go up there, you at any given night, you could see Rogan, you could see fucking Bill Burr up there, you could see Bert Kreischer up there, you could see fucking
On the regular.
Dave
Chappelle
every night.
does
just
drop
comes in,
shows.
just starts
Really?
doing comedy.
Yes.
They do Kill Tony, a phenomenal podcast with fucking Brian Redband and Tony Hinchcliffe, and they have a guest comedian every single time that's different, like quality New York, LA comedians, like middle of the country dudes. But it's a fucking that's like comedy mecca. That
Yeah.
the Stand, the Cellar in New York. The Stand and the Cellar are both New York spots, but like if for people that love comedy, those spots are like mecca. They're like your if you like comedy and you go to the city, you have to go here. This is a fucking mandatory thing.
Good to
So
know.
for sure, if you get out there, try that out.
It's
I've never done
like,
it, but
like
I
you usually go to a
God, I want
comedy
to.
like show to buy pre-tickets and whatnot to see the specific person at the end. At the Comedy Store, it's like gold stars, headliners every single time.
Right.
They all get to do their amazing 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I need to find a way down there too. I've got 2 weeks of vacation, man. I'll plan it.
Hell
Use
yeah.
it. Vacation, man. Live your life. Get out there and see things. It's like the best thing ever.
I need to go visit Iran.
Yes, you do. We're going out there in May for a concert at Red Rocks, and it's going to be awesome.
Of fucking
Pat, I'm
course.
sorry, I can't at all hear what
Erickson sees everybody live.
Oh,
dude.
dude, he's got
Everybody.
a great lineup. Great lineup.
He's seen Buckethead.
Oh, I've
He's
seen it.
seen
Buckethead's
Gorillaz.
coming here in April. He's coming to the Madison Theater
you
in
have
April.
tickets.
Yeah, I've got tickets.
Oh,
Do you have tickets?
Dirty son of a bitch.
Get tickets. Fucking go with
Are
us.
they still available?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I bought mine as soon as they dropped.
I'm sure they're all sold out by now.
It's worth a look.
Oh, I'll look.
Fuck it, dude. Go.
So
Buckethead would
we're
rule.
at the point where we need to start doing our popular segment called Man to Man.
Okay, what's that involve?
So Man to Man is basically a would you rather, but just our version of it. So we ask you questions of what you would rather do, and you have to be honest. You have to pick between one of the two, and I can manipulate it any way I want to.
I remember this. This
Yeah.
gets super raunchy. All right.
Yeah, this gets really.
And
fucked
don't
up.
worry, me and Luke will interject to fuck up Pat while he's trying to figure out his man-to-man on the fly.
Because
Well,
you
I
usually
actually
die
prepared.
in one of the scenarios.
I have a man-to-man. I don't want to forget it. Is there any way you can hand me my phone so I can write it down real quick, Tim, since it's charging
that
over
it?
there? Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt all that for this. But anyways, man-to-man.
So yes, this is Man to Man.
All right, let's get started.
All right, so man to man, would you rather have a prostate check by Shaquille O'Neal, or
With
would
his
you,
penis.
With his penis, or would you rather swallow a condom filled with laundry detergent?
Tide Pod specifically.
Now the thing is that Shaq, he's not using any lube. He's using his hands, his big hands.
Yes, huge hands.
And if you swallow the condom full of
You'll
laundry
die.
detergent, you're not gonna die, but you're gonna
die.
get really sick. You're gonna have to poop that condom out too.
What if the condom conceals it all the way through?
Yeah, I mean, if the
Oh my
condoms
God.
contained it the whole way through, it may not be that bad.
That's how they smuggle drugs into the country.
Well, here's the
Pat.
thing:
It doesn't burst.
You have to fill it up like it's a balloon full of water, like a water balloon. So
And I
it's
can
like,
tie it at the top?
How do you swallow this?
Yeah, how are
balloon?
you swallowing
Yeah.
this, man?
Without dying?
your
It's
chest.
Laundry
you just-
detergent's thick, bro.
Your
I don't
chest
know.
opens up like a closet door, and you just put it in there. Okay, guys? It just happens. Your rib cage pops open. You put it into your stomach. It teleports in there. Okay, so now it's in there. Let me keep going, you guys.
You just swallow it. That's not important. All right.
It is important, Pat. How the fuck do you get it down your throat? What are you talking about?
You
It's so
maniac.
important.
It's not important. The important part is that you end up swallowing it.
We hit Pat with logic, and he was like, "How illogical can I go for this one?"
But well, I mean, Shaquille O'Neal giving you a prostate exam.
He's
That's
got
a big
really
finger.
giant fucking fingers.
That's a
He better
big
use his pinky,
finger.
bro.
Wait,
he better
isn't he-
use half a pinky.
Hold on, isn't he actually considered a doctor?
I'm sure that dude's so successful.
I'm not joking. I think he is.
I think
I
Kanye
would
West
doubt it.
has his master's degree. I mean, and I don't think he went to school for it.
I would doubt
Do you
it.
think he
I
just
think
paid
it'd be-
someone to
Yeah.
get that degree?
Yeah,
Hey, I want a ceremony.
I think
I'll
like
pay
the
for it
city of
all.
Chicago was like so hyped on him being from Chicago. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you a master's degree. I think Jay-Z did the same thing.
Let me switch my whole man-to-man up. How about not too
Never mind.
much?
Let's do a different
It's going to be
Hold
real-
on a second.
It's going to be pretty much the same. So,
Just kidding about that last one.
Take backs.
hold on. It's still
Take
pretty much
C's
the same.
backsies on
and
the
you
bastard
need to pick it.
server.
All right. You
All
have
right,
to
all
pick
right.
it, all right. I know it's going to be hard to swallow a condom filled with laundry detergent, but that's not my problem. That's your problem. So, which is true, right? So,
No.
would you rather have a cavity search, not a prostate check, but a cavity
By
search
Shaquille O'Neal.
by Shaquille O'Neal, full rubber glove,
Full hand,
full yeah,
whole
full-
hand.
Full
Oh,
Shaq
goddamn.
hand.
Would you even have a butthole left?
I'm just
No,
a
you
There
puppet.
would just be a
wouldn't.
Grand
I'm just a
Canyon where your
puppet
butthole
at that
used to
point,
be.
dude. That's
Full
over with.
Shaq
You
hand.
are a sock bucket puppet for Shaquille O'Neal. I bet he could make you talk if he moved his fingers in a certain direction.
Oh yeah, he'd
He's gonna
make me talk right.
puppeteer
I'd be
you,
like,
bud.
ah, fuck.
Puppeteer the shit out of you.
Okay,
boy.
that, which is pretty extreme, Pat, or what? You get a delicious steak dinner?
A delicious
And that's the
condom
whole thing?
filled of laundry.
No. But they give you a blowjob while you get the steak dinner. Well, Pat, you're making this real hard for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the
No.
fence.
So,
But the blowjob's by Shaquille O'Neal. All right, I'm sorry.
So, cavity search by Shaq, or you have to swallow a condom filled with laundry detergent while you're getting head from Dick Cheney.
What?
Is he like whispering secrets about fucking the Iraq war? Like, we definitely bombed. We
Yeah,
definitely bombed our
definitely.
own country.
Definitely.
9/11 was real.
You gotta
grapefruit
your man.
I
Is
got-
his mascara like? Is he
Dick
choking
Cheney
so
giving
hard?
you the good old yuck.
I just
swallow
got,
your soul and leave you on red for a week? Is that what you were about to say? I saw that meme.
I've got one question regarding that. Is the condom tied?
No.
It's not tied.
Oh, you're fucked.
You're just drinking fun.
It's coming out of the condom whether you like
coming
it
out
or
of the
not.
condom. Okay.
Well, don't
So-
forget you're getting head. You're getting fucking throat robbed by Dick Cheney.
Yeah, that's not the part I'm worried about because you're receiving. It's different. But anyways,
What, like
think-
it's you're gay for sucking, but not gay for getting your dick sucked.
a lot of people say that, but I'm worried about the Tide Pod because that's really gonna fuck you up. So
You're not gonna die. I'm establishing the rules. You won't die, but you're gonna get really sick. You're gonna regret it.
sick for how long?
Is it
Like,
permanent
is
damage,
are there any
Patrick?
other
I don't know
lasting effects?
how long does Tide Pod stay in your system?
They kill you.
Fucks you.
Yeah,
it
they
fucks
kill you.
Fucks you up, dude.
It's not. It's no
It can't-
bueno.
It's not gonna kill
No
you.
bueno, senor.
Okay, it's
I
not
know
gonna
it will kill
me.
you in real life, but in this world,
It leaves severe burns.
yeah, it's,
We've never let him answer the question at all. He's just sitting here like, will I
So
ever
wait,
get to
I
answer
have
this
so
question?
many questions.
so picture this.
I have
so
so many questions.
Shaq, you're at the airport. You're about to go out of the country for the first time. It's about to be amazing, and then beep 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 beep.
And I just see Shaq
Shaquille
come up to
O'Neal's
me like,
like, "So
"Hey,
you're
little
gonna
boy, I
need
gotta
a-"
check your butthole."
Yeah, sir, I'm gonna need you to stand over the side.
I love his
Spread
Shaquille
your-
Why
O'Neal
does he
voice.
sound like a colonel, like the colonel, like from KFC?
I don't know. Have we ever heard that guy talk?
Yeah, all the
The
time. He has a
Colonel?
rap album.
He's a
Or-
rap album.
Oh, I thought you meant Shaquille O'Neal. Have you ever heard Shaquille O'Neal talk? Sorry.
He has a new video game coming out called Shaq Fu.
Can we get through this fucking man to man?
It's a sequel too.
Stop.
Good God, Patrick.
Finish it. Fuck.
That's real. But yeah, there's not much to say. I mean,
All right.
Shaquille O'Neal puts his whole fucking monster hand with a rubber glove up your asshole without any lube.
What's
and
the other
he
one
feels
again?
around for fucking
Or
drugs.
you fucking died swallowing laundry detergent.
No, you don't
You
die.
don't die. You just get really sick.
You don't
You
die.
get
but
super severely fucked up. So you get fucked up in your
While you're
butthole
getting
or your
head.
internal organs, basically, is what he's saying.
while you're getting head from Dick Cheney.
Well, I guess that the butthole can heal, so I'd have to go with Shaq.
Are you sure
Yeah,
with
I
Shaq?
probably would have gone with Shaq too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't want to get really sick.
As
Any
much as I
fucking buddy
hate
with
admitting
a brain
that,
would say Shaq.
I hate just having the voice of Shaq go like, "Hey, little boy, I'm gonna pull you aside and check your butthole." I hate that thought,
be kinda
but
He's got to
soothing,
do this
though.
with his hands. He's got to somehow make them smaller, though. He can't just go like full open fucking grabbing a whole basketball.
oh yeah,
with
not
one hand
not with
hands.
my butt.
Yeah,
no.
like go
No.
inside of there.
He
like-
slides it in there and then he releases his hand.
I've seen some big poops come out of you, but nothing Shaq hand sized.
Okay, so that makes
Maybe a
sense.
single Shaq finger sized at the biggest.
All right, Cody, what was your man-to-man?
All right, so
Did he pick?
Yeah, I picked.
Yeah,
Okay.
Were
he
you
said
not
that
there?
He would definitely
I
go.
wasn't.
He said that he likes hands in his butt, so you'd have to choose that one all
That
day
sounds
long.
like something.
I mean, it was
That's
basically
exactly
not even an
what I
option.
said.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
exactly
We have
what
Rewind
it
the
on
tape.
record.
Yeah, I'll. Don't worry, I'll edit your voice to make it
All
sound
right,
like that's
anyways.
what
Fuck yeah.
Edit my voice to make it sound like Shaq too.
Your
Hell
turn,
yeah.
Cody.
Just the whole podcast. Can you make him sound like?
All right.
Hell yeah. Featuring
All right.
today, Shaquille
So
O'Neal.
man to man, just me and you, Tim. Only us. Don't pay attention to the other 4 people and several animals in the room. It's just me and you.
All right.
All right. All right. Would you rather? Just us now. Would you rather every single time that you walk around everywhere, whenever you're not talking, you have to pant like a dog, just like that's all you're doing at any given, even when you're sleeping, just
That's fucking annoying.
Even when I'm sleeping.
like all the time. You're in line at the bank, you're not talking.
Someone's gonna kill
Everybody's
you over
quiet.
that.
It's awkward. And you're and you're hyperventilating too because you're not a dog. You're not cooling yourself off, so you're getting like lightheaded all the fucking time. So it's either constantly talk or be lightheaded as fuck and annoy the piss out of everyone that you're around, or your teeth are literally the size of a horse's teeth and they're yellow as fuck and they just hang out of your mouth. Like it hurts to eat food. You can barely open your jaw anymore because of how many big ass horse teeth are in your fucking mouth right now. You just can't open
Constantly
your
drooling.
jaw at all.
Constantly drooling.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
This is
I feel like-
really in depth.
Okay,
picture,
okay.
like,
What
whenever
would
you
you rather
talk
do?
with
Anybody has ever thought that far into it.
Came up with this on the fly. Thank you, weed.
Hey,
You sure
I
as
have, I
hell
have a
did.
follow-up question. Can you whistle? Like, do you have to constantly talk, or
Oh.
can you sing?
I think that's as far as your mouth
Anything
can
that you're
open.
doing with your no, she's talking about with the panting. Anything that you're doing to occupy your mouth that's not, then yeah, you could whistle or you could sing all the time or you could. But anytime that you're not, if you just have any moment where you want to be silent, you're watching a movie in a movie theater, like you can't talk. There's nothing on. It's quiet as fuck. The opening credits are on, and you're just there.
Would wiggling your tongue around in your mouth actively cancel that?
Hold on.
No, not at all.
You said he could sing, so I'm picturing him going on American Idol like, and then he's like, "What's your name?" "My name's Tim." And then he sings, and he's a really good singer. And then every time he stops,
No, if I went on American Idol, I would totally walk up there and be like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Thunder Horse."
Can you imagine that
Yes.
during sex? You're just like, yeah, girl, oh yeah, yeah, girl, hell yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Hell yeah.
She could wear
I don't know.
earplugs.
I don't talk dirty in bed. I think it's awkward, but
it's a fucking
whatever people
funeral
say.
or something.
She could wear earplugs. It's all right. I would
Yeah,
take.
girl,
I would
yeah.
take panting. I would take panting
You go
because
panting.
I'd go with
I
panting.
already
I'd go with
talk
panting.
a lot as it is, so that takes up most of my time. So I'll take
But
panting.
you could never go to the movies again. You could never go to a comedy
I
show.
mean,
You
you
just
could.
get
Fuck
kicked
them
out
other
all the
people. I
time.
don't care what those other people think in the movie. I'm here to see the movie too. I paid good money for
You
that.
know
I'll
how
take it.
mad people are gonna get at you.
I don't care.
Okay,
They
fair
get mad
enough.
at me.
Frig 'em.
Hey, if you didn't want to deal with other people
why
during a
not
movie,
the
then
horse
go
teeth?
home and order it on IMAX or DirecTV. Not IMAX, but like whatever
Fair
you.
enough, but why not the horse teeth? Though, what like turns you off about that so much?
What turns
You're
me?
an absolute freak.
What turns me off about the horse teeth? How about the giant fucking horse teeth?
You could wear a cool mask though. You could get like a Sub-Zero mask. And
What
everybody
about
just
the
No one would
shape of
ever
wonder?
love you.
Nobody
Yeah.
would think that was cool.
a bandana,
But
something?
you also said he'd be in excruciating pain.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'd rather just
Well,
pant.
Yeah,
I picture you having.
you're not in pain.
Yeah, panting is just at least mildly annoying to
Yeah.
those around you.
Dude,
Like-
my dogs would probably love me. They'd
You're
be like, hey, you're one of us now.
But can you imagine being on the phone with somebody and like you're trying to explain something to them the whole time you're just like, yeah, this bitch just fucking cheated on me. The whole time you're just,
yeah,
what the fuck, bro? Can you mute yourself when you're not
Who's
talking?
in
This
there?
sucks.
I would
No
just,
one.
I would just give them a warning. I'd be like, hey, by the way, I
Oh
have,
shit! I think someone's in the house, honey.
no, I
Get
just
the gun.
I'd just be like, hey, I have a
Hide under the
breathing
bed.
problem. I'd just be like, nah, hey, just to warn you, I have a breathing problem, so you're gonna hear a lot of breathing during the phone call. So
Yeah. You're on the
the
phone with
easiest way to get out of
911. I cut my leg off. I have to pant when I'm not talking. Both of these use a lot of air. I'm getting lightheaded either way. Please come quickly.
they'll be like, is there
Sir,
a
what's your
dog
address?
with
Can you
you?
stop panting? No, I can't.
You would quickly
funny.
kill everybody in like a tight, compact, like air sealed room situation, buried
They
underground.
probably
like,
kill you
we
off.
only have so much oxygen. that's most unfortunate.
We have to kill Luke right now. We have to murder Luke.
I'm picturing you at a library and everybody's in there trying to study and they just hear that in the background.
You could never go scuba diving. Like you're just scuba diving, like suck in air.
Just kill
No,
the tank
that would
real
work
quick.
just fine because you're not taking a full breath. You're taking a bunch of
Hyperventilating
short
underwater.
breaths.
You'd be
It's
on
the
Ripley's
same way.
Believe It or Not or some shit.
We're
I
at
used to
hour
love that
45.
show.
This man
that show was
can't
awesome.
stop panting.
Well, I feel like that's a good spot to end this episode on.
Dude, Tim, thank you so fucking much. Your conversations were amazing. We did all that without a break. That was awesome, man. Thanks for coming
That's
on.
Fantastic.
sweet. I didn't know a break came with this. Am I getting paid?
Thanks for coming on, Tim.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Tim.
guys for having me, man. The show is awesome, and much respect to everybody who listens to this program.
So,
a fucking blast,
anything you
bro.
want to plug, real quick?
No, I'm not. I'm good.
Okay, man.
Go follow us at The Bastard Sermon on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Go to Lipson. There's a website. If you just Google The Bastard Sermon, you'll find it super easily. It'll be like the first shit that pops up.
And on iTunes.
Some people were telling us that they were having trouble with their apps on Android phones. You can get us on iTunes. You can't get us on Laughable yet. You can't get us on Spotify yet. We're working on it, guys. We'll get there. But as far as Android apps, I use one called Podcast Addict. It's a little tricky to use. If you don't like that one, Luke's got one. It's called PLAYERFM. He likes it. He fucking goes by it. Fucking... If you need an Android app to find The Bastard Sermon on, it's available there. If you have an iPhone, of course, just go to iTunes to download that shit immediately. We'll work on getting it on multiple platforms and such. I don't have anything I want to plug. Do you guys have anything you want to plug?
No, that's it. Besides that, listen to Talk Boys, which is my 90s nostalgia podcast, and check us out on Instagram and everything else like that.
If you guys come up with any excellent man-to-man
Email us
situations,
at
email us at thebastardsermon@gmail.com.
Do you guys have a
Thank you.
Twitter?
We do, but we hardly utilize it. We'll get there.
You
but
should.
It's
That's
at
like
the
the
Bastard
best
Sermon.
way for people to respond with questions or man-to-man stuff. You know, things.
You're
of that
hired,
nature.
Tim.
Yeah, go to the Twitter,
Oh, man.
and we will definitely start updating that. Good advice. Also, if you have the time, we would really appreciate it if you dropped us a review anywhere, iTunes, fucking Facebook, anywhere. It just helps us out a lot, and if you guys like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks to all the positive feedback that we've been getting recently, and have a good week, fuckers.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Bastard Sermon today. If you liked us, check us out.
God, Pat, that's staying in. Now we're going. If you liked us, please fucking find us on Instagram at The Bastard Sermon. Please find us on iTunes at The Bastard Sermon and on Facebook at The Bastard Sermon. Leave us a review if you liked it. Leave us a review if you hated it. And please tell Pat that he's an idiot for fucking up the reads. All right, good night.